Well, hello and howdy, and welcome back, y'all.
Hello, we back.
Oh no, oh no. I don't know if any of them will come back or not after they got rid of us.
It's hard telling.
Oh, sometimes I'd be wondering if I'd want to come back.
No doubt. I don't know if I can.
What did you do with my phone?
It's right here. I need something else. What do I need? I need that. I need that. I need that.
I don't know what you're doing.
Trying to find Red to let her know we back. She says that she don't get.
Mm-hmm. Well, hi there, sis.
Hi, sis. We've missed you too. Are you still
Yep.
watering outside?
There we go. We'll put that link up there before I forget it again. We've missed a lot of y'all, but
Yep.
we just been
She said she's inside now.
just been too lazy or too sorry to get off our butt and get
Too
back to
tired
doing
and too
lives.
sore. Now you can laugh all you want to, sis, and that people won't think you're crazy.
Oh,
Neighbors, couldn't you hear that? Neighbors be out there saying, "You see her out there by herself laughing her butt off at them
oh,
flyers," or her
I don't know.
plants.
It's according to how loud she had her phone out there playing. They might be standing out there. What is that fool listening to?
No doubt.
Oh, man, well, they showing to be about 3 in here. I wonder who else is in here.
I know I went and messaged Red. She said, "All right."
Alrighty. I wish Papa was up and felt like coming in for a few minutes.
Yep. I seen him a thing
Uh,
earlier. I'm about afraid to now.
yeah.
So, sis, how is your family?
Yeah.
Them beautiful grandbabies, little miss, and your daughter and stuff.
Oh.
Who's mooning the mailman and the cops? she
Red.
just got. she just got in.
Uh-huh. She timed that just right.
She sure did.
And we got a red in the house.
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
Long time no see, minion.
Well, howdy,
I
Brenda.
know. I tell you what, I have had one busy night. I have been such a good girl all day long.
Yeah.
Watch out for the lightning.
No doubt.
You didn't see Paul's last comment, did you?
No.
I can't even remember what. Oh, something about road rash.
On your boobies.
That Red was still recovering from road rash on her nipples.
Never had road rash. Maybe carpet rash a few times, but that's beside the point. Door
Who's
Cooper.
Who's
Cooper.
laughing?
Oh.
Cooper, door, honey. Go potty. Go on.
Watch
Go
out for
pee.
lightning.
Good girl,
Cooper,
L.O.
go pee pee.
She said little miss told her she couldn't call her
Hold
little
on just a second.
now. Okay.
Uh-huh.
She growing up,
Yep.
Susan.
Poor little Cooper's getting, but he can't hear nothing.
Ah. That's the
You
way
know.
Glenn is.
He's having a really, really hard time. I
I
don't know
hate.
how much longer I'm having, to be honest with you. I've had him for 18 years.
Oh, well, he's had a good spoiled life. You may.
I hear you. I don't know about the cool kids.
Yeah, it's been spoiled. I will say that.
Which I don't know. They was the ones that was always considered being under the bleachers and stuff, wasn't it?
Hey, Michael.
I don't know about cool kids.
Earlier, I got to admit something. I'm a little bit embarrassed about it, but I got to admit. I'll tell you how terrified I am of porcelain dolls. I was actually about ready to have a panic attack earlier, and I was almost at the verge of crying. That's how terrified of porcelain dolls I am.
Oh my gosh. MB says, hello, Red.
Hi.
And Susan says, hey, Red and Brenda.
Yeah, that's how terrified. Like I said, I've had bad experiences with porcelain dolls. When you get up every morning and that thing is staring at you, at those big, black eyes of theirs. I mean,
Hey,
it's already,
as of
huh?
tomorrow, you want scary? As of tomorrow, it'll be 44 years I've been waking up to scary eyes looking at me.
Hello, Billy. Hey.
And you said, as of tomorrow?
Uh-huh.
Is your
Well,
anniversary tomorrow?
Uh-huh.
Ours is,
happy anniversary.
ours is Sunday.
44
Really?
years.
Well, happy anniversary to both of you.
Yes, happy anniversary.
Yeah, we've
Actually,
been married for
we
30.
got married on Father's Day. So Paul
Did you
thought
say you
since we got married on Father's Day, he'd be able to remember our anniversary every
Yeah.
year.
Billy, I
Ah,
just seen your video just a minute
It
ago.
don't work that way.
No, we didn't get
Hello, the
married.
Wickenshire.
We didn't get married on Father's Day, but if we usually tried to take off and go camping for our anniversary or summers, and we'd
Yeah.
always have to come back for Father's Day.
We went someplace one time for our anniversary. And that was our 25th. We went to
Oh,
Hawaii.
oh, that would have been a good place to go.
yeah.
Well, it was 25 years, and we never got a honeymoon, or we've never gotten vacations or none of that stuff. So I told him in January of that year, I said, it's going to be 25 years. You've got 6 months. We go somewhere nice, or we go to divorce court.
Hey, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
So we went to Hawaii.
Well, that would have been.
I was married for a year and a half and divorced and separated for 10 of those. My husband was an idiot. I mean, this guy was a full blown idiot.
Thank
Only
you,
reason
Urban
I
Bucket.
married him is because it was a shotgun rating to begin with, and that's the truth.
Now, which one was having to hold the
Oh,
shotgun?
I'm glad somebody got some good
My
rain.
mother.
Oh,
See, we got some too. We got called out in it, and your mama was
Huh?
standing there in the rain. We was feeding one day, and it just started. Well, we was throwing bread, and then it started raining, so we sat underneath the trailer hitch. What do you call what we sat under down there at day? Getting the rest of the desserts out,
oh,
and it raining.
what kind of trailer is it?
Cattle trailer.
What kind of trailer?
Well, it's bread trailer right now.
Goose.
Yeah, we're sitting under the gooseneck, opening desserts and putting them in there, and then the bottom fell out.
Yeah, by the time I got out from under there, got on the tractor, the bottom fell out.
Wow.
I get halfway. I mean, I didn't get 5 foot on the tractor, and they wouldn't a dry stitch on me.
Nope.
Huh.
When I come in the house, I kicked my shoes off at the door and run straight to the bathroom because water was pouring off of me.
Wow. We could use some rain around here, but we ain't done much with the garden this year. I mean, most of the stuff that we have growing is mainly in grow bags because Travis is getting all those blocks out of the garden.
Billy, you tell Nathan
And
we
we're
need
expanding the garden now that we got a tiller.
And the goats. Tell him the goats miss him too. And thank you, sis. Sis, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
I think I'm gonna just
my daddy and my mom was married for 64 years. That's a long time.
That is a long time.
It is.
Now, Tressa and Mike, my sister and her husband, I think they've been married for like 45 years now, something like that. They've been together since she was 15 and he was 16.
Well, see, we've been together since I was 13.
41 years.
Altogether,
Wow.
we dated for 11, lived together part of that time, but we was together for 11 years before we got married.
Huh.
Glenn said he couldn't outrun me no more.
God. She said she knows where you live.
Nope, I couldn't find him. Me and my mama and my aunt and Carla and Lois went and come down here trying to find him one day, and we got to the end of Messick Road, and we could not Messick, but where Vestal pulls off, and we was less than a fourth of a mile from his house and could not get turned on this road. And I said, well, good
That
try.
should have been a sign for me.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was only married that one time. Found out it's not for me.
Uh-oh. I've only been married once.
Yep, that's enough.
That's what I said 30 years ago. I will do it one time, and that's it. I didn't want to do it then.
My aunt has literally been married 5 times.
Well, he's got a friend, and I'm telling you, I know he's been married at least 7 times. He's picked girls up off the side of the road. And
No, he
a week
picked one up.
later,
The one you're talking about who picked up the food line.
Oh.
He said he should have known better than start talking to her in the meat department.
Well, you know, I'm sitting here thinking about my aunt, you know, married 5 times. I can understand. She's a Farley. I understand.
Well, this boy, that when he met this girl, they didn't date a week probably and went and got married.
Wow.
Within about 3 months of them getting married, she jumps in his son's car, goes down to Yagville, and pulls up through the courthouse in the grass. Just about went in the door. In the car. Drove his son's car plumb up in the door of the courthouse.
Why?
He didn't have no sense.
I mean, I've heard of a fast divorce, but that's ridiculous.
That's what I'm telling you. Exactly.
Just drive through divorce.
We pick on him all the time because he's been married so many times.
Yeah, I told him one time, I said, you change wives and phone numbers more often than you do your underwear.
I knew some people that were married about 5 times.
This old boy's probably been, I'm about positive of 6 wives that I can think of.
Oh no, these 2 were to each other. The judge finally told him the last time they went in to file for divorce to get out of his court, he wasn't giving it to them. They just go out and get remarried again.
3 times.
Well, my aunt is my mother's sister. And she's exactly like my mom, so I can understand why they don't stick around.
Billy said Nathan's forcing him to tell us that they got new chicks, 2 Easter eggers and Morans are chocolate eggers.
I hear you. You go, Nathan.
I tell you what, they lay some
Nice.
beautiful eggs. Oh my God.
Huh?
They
They lay
do.
some beautiful eggs.
Yep.
They're
Who's
like
that?
chocolate colored eggs.
Oh,
Oh yeah, you can't see the chat, can you?
uh-uh.
Billy's got Easter eggers and Morans, the chocolate eggers.
I got olive eggers out there.
We
They're
got some
pretty. They're really
Americanas.
pretty.
Oh, I guess they're the Easter eggers.
Well, they all really are, but some of them call them Easter eggers, some call them.
He
Well,
said,
we got olive eggers. We got black Australorps. We have Rhode Island Red. The females, they haven't had any problems out of the females at all with the Rhode Island Reds.
No,
We got white, we got white Orpingtons, and we got the
ooh, that looks
Barred
good.
Rock. We got Barred Rock. What is
Coconut
that?
chocolate crunch. That sounds good. What is
That
it?
does sound
Candy?
good.
Gelato.
what?
I have.
Multi-layered gelato. Oh, I bet that's so
It's
good.
an Italian
What the
ice
heck
cream.
is a gelato? I've heard
It's
of
an
it. I've
Italian.
never. I don't know
It's
what it
an
is.
Italian ice cream.
Oh,
Italian ice cream.
With coconut and chocolate. That would be good. I'm going to have to look
I
for
bet
some
the
of that.
coconut off of it.
I gotta get me some more of that Garibaldi's, the chocolate with the
Ghirardelli's, yeah,
Ghirardelli's, Garibaldi,
yeah,
however you pronounce that.
Have
Yeah,
you?
Ghirardelli's.
I gotta get.
Oh, it's good
The,
chocolate.
It
yeah,
is.
I got April addicted to them.
Yep. You need to
Well,
try the white chocolate and caramel. That's good
mm,
too.
hmm
I'm not a big white chocolate fan.
I love hot chocolate.
I am. What were those candy bars? Zero candy bars. Oh my God, I love those things.
I
Those,
never liked them, and I will never eat another Reese cup in my life.
Lord, that's Glenn's favorite.
No,
Well, face breaks now, but Reese's used to be.
used to be.
No, Travis used to buy me Reese's all the time. Every time he went out, and actually got burnt out on them. I'll never eat them
Mm,
again.
Oh, the white chocolate ones are good. They made them different this year.
I don't really like white chocolate. I did like those white chocolate pretzels that I made.
Those was good. I ate most all them. I didn't. Glenn got a few.
And let's see here. Travis made y'all some of his lemon sugar cookies.
Yep, them was good too. But I really like the cheese balls.
Yeah. We made 8 of them and ate all 8 of them. Surprised we're not going to be constipated for like 2 years. As much cheese as we ate.
Yep, have choke 'em, but
I don't know. If I eat just
Cheese
cheese
don't
by
act like that
itself,
with Matt. Matt can eat blocks of cheese at a time and it doesn't affect him.
it don't
Don't
bother
know.
me. It's no, she puts. Tell her how you make your cheese balls.
if
Cream
I eat
cheese.
cheese by itself, like just a slice of cheese, it'll give me diarrhea. I'll be in pain and cramped over like you wouldn't believe.
Oh
Well, in
hey,
our cheese balls, we
Oh
put
yeah.
cream cheese, of course, and white and yellow cheddar cheese. And I think we put soy sauce in it and Worcester sauce. One of the two, I can't remember off the bat. We had onion chives in it, We had pimento peppers in it. Plus, we had pecans, crushed pecans in it. Jeez, I can't think. I know we had other stuff in there, but I can't remember
It had
everything.
nuts.
Huh?
You rolled it in nuts.
Yeah, pecans. We had pecans on the outside of it and pecans in the middle of it, too.
Yep. Billy Glenn was just talking about you right before we went live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was sitting here yesterday, I think it was, and I was thinking, need to call Billy because I ain't seen where he's putting nothing out and ain't heard nothing out of him in a few weeks. And tonight I was dawned on me, and I was telling her that, and I seen your video had come out, and then you come in. I'm like, all right.
Susan wants to know if you've made any happy green brownies, Red. You see that?
No, but I've been thinking about it.
Gummy brownies, right?
Mhm.
I ain't need that many gummies again.
You better not. You'll be seeing my monkeys playing cards.
I won't know where I am for the rest of the week.
No doubt.
That was just, hey, I'll make my stupid mistakes too, and that just happened to be one of them. And I can sit back and laugh at it, and while the boys are laughing at me. The way I see it, if I
And
can't
she's
laugh
on
at
Messenger to
myself,
me. I think I boo-booed.
yeah, I did. I messaged her. I went, I think I made a boo boo. And she called, messaged me, to message. She called me. She goes, what did you do? I told her. She goes, oh my God, Brad. Oh, well,
How did she sound, Brenda?
She wasn't too bad at the moment.
Did it get
It
worse?
hadn't been long enough yet.
Oh,
it just,
you should have
woo, the
took.
next day was so, woo.
But I
Should
did give her strict instructions. No sinus medicine, and absolutely no muscle relaxers for bed tonight.
exactly.
I will have to say I slept pretty good that night.
I bet so.
Now you'd still be sleeping if you'd taken muscle relaxers or any of that crap.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's true. That is very true.
Billy must have problems with his internet a lot.
Uh-oh.
I had to take a nap that next day. I had no other choice but to.
Well, you were still high the next day.
That's saying it lightly.
Did you feel like you was floating in our balloon?
Yeah. And see,
Yeah,
the thing is I was going to give my sister some of these, and her daughter's like, no, Mom, no, don't do it. She goes, Mom, you never drank, you've never smoked, you've never done any type of, recreational stuff. Don't do it. My sister's like, well, she does it all the time. My niece goes, yeah, it's because she's a pothead. Well, that's true.
I believe if I'd have been her daughter, I'd have looked at her and said, ain't that a good enough example?
She just, her daughter, no. Had a bubble burst in my throat. That was weird feeling.
oh, I bet so. Susan says, "What did you do, Red? I must have been outside. She didn't hear your story when you can."
Yeah.
She said, "Wait 1 minute, and she'll let you know." Oh gosh. Michael said you should try a Star of Death gummy. Each one's 500 milligrams of THC.
Hey,
She
I'm not.
already took 2,000.
I don't know if you can see this or not,
There you go.
but it says 1,000 on it. I took 2 of them.
Yeah.
What did that name say?
It's called Travables.
Yeah, hers
Travel.
is Travables.
Yeah, that might make you feel like you traveled.
It sure does.
Yeah. Sleeping in a yellow
An
submarine.
all new plane
Uh-huh.
of its own.
If she calls you and says, "I'm on Mars, come get me,"
Yeah.
what she did.
No, all I did is went, I think I made a boo boo.
She'll be the one saying, "I see tall green non-humans in my backyard."
Yeah.
And Travis and Matt's like, you ate another one of those? I'm like, yeah, I didn't feel it. I was in a lot of pain that night. I don't eat them every night, just to get that
Yeah,
sensation. I only eat them when I'm in a lot of pain. And my body's like, no, you can't take it anymore. Because I can't take pain pills. Now, as many health problems as I have, I got to have something.
yeah.
I mean, I could take a Tylenol. It's like eating an M&M, which I hate M&Ms. Let's go for a Skittle.
Oh, you may want to take them pumpkins and put them back on the ground and tell them stay there.
But that's the only
Sunflower starts are
time.
strong, but they ain't that strong.
It's the only time as I will do that. And I didn't feel it working because I was still in that much pain. So
Yeah.
I ate another one.
I
And we didn't read the back of it. It says it takes anywhere between an hour to 2 hours to take effect.
yeah.
Oh my
Well, howdy,
gosh.
Steve. Again. You take
Yeah.
uh,
And they looked at me, they went, how many of those did you eat? And I went, 2. Oh my God, Mom. They were both freaking out and laughing all at the same time.
So tell me, how'd you feel?
I wasn't in pain.
I bet not. Was he
Sounds
saying
like
that?
they are, the Wickeshire.
I just,
They will
I
latch
don't know.
on and grow up them, but they won't hold them. They'll pull the sunflowers over.
Is that mouth back, Brenda?
Huh?
I saw something black flash across your screen just a few seconds ago.
I have no idea.
oh God, you done
Tried to
been in
wake
the
up to the
lady.
west.
No, you don't understand. I was talking to Brenda the other day, and all of a sudden I saw these teeny tiny little things about the size of a BB. It ends up being a moth was on her screen. And I won't tell you what was the little BBs. I think you can imagine.
It was a moth.
We got one in here flying around and it's black.
She
That's the
could,
reason.
she could probably tell you what sex that dude was.
This is somebody
As close as it was, why do you think I
Vegas
said little
in their
BBs?
backyard in Vegas.
Yeah, that's the ones I was talking about. I was
Uh-huh.
talking about that earlier, sis.
That was wild. All of a sudden, Ben and I was sitting there talking, and all of a sudden, part of her screen is black. And I'm like, what in the world? Ain't as kooky as the night that her camera went up her
Oh
curtain,
God.
to the side, to the other side, back down, to the side, up again. I mean, her camera was moving every which way, and I was not on anything
Oh,
that night.
it was, and it was zooming in and out.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
Yeah.
it was wild.
That sounds like mine the other day when I was videoing out here in the yard. It kept moving around, and I had it set there where I was working, and next thing I know, you couldn't see but nothing but about my elbow. And you could see
Wow.
it zooming in and out some real just slower backwards and forwards, you know.
Oh, this camera was showing different parts of the room, the ceiling. I mean, it was zooming in and out. And
It was everywhere.
Did you have
yeah,
a
it was crazy.
Yeah, there was one part on mine out there the other day where I was coming across the yard on the tractor and I turned upside down.
Wow.
I need a new camera operator. She turned the camera upside down while she was filming.
Oh,
what's
the assassin bugs?
What's the
I thought
assassin?
assassin bugs killed the bad bugs.
But sis, you need to go watch the video that Christina Randall done about it. They actually caught them aliens on video, and you can see them. And the ring camera, actually, you can see the flash from it coming down, and you can hear it go kaboom. It's all on her video.
Oh, I didn't know Stevie was in here.
Yeah.
He's at the beach.
Sis, I
Yeah, I
haven't
know.
out of shaky and them in a little while.
Yeah, Travis and I want to go to the beach next year, just for like 3 days. We know someone that can take care of our animals and that we trust. But I don't know how to make reservations because I don't have the phone number to these places.
Google it.
Yeah, all you gotta do is ask Google, and Google
Yeah, but
give
then they always send you the price line or some other place.
just ask for what price range that you want, or a certain thing that you want out of the motel, like if you want
Yeah.
beachfront or whatever, and it'll give you the names of them and the phone numbers.
Yeah, when we went to Hawaii, I could tell you everything about that place long before we got there. I probably put in a couple thousand hours of.
My problem is, this is my problem. It's been my problem ever since I was a little girl. Anything that's supposed to be like, a lot of people go, oh my God, that's so hard to do. I find it easy. Anything that's easy, I find it hard. My brain has switched around.
Honey, it's just research.
Yeah, just talk to Google like you talk to me and Brenda.
Just research hotels close to where you want to go. See what their rates are, and when I say research, I mean research, like as in read everything about it,
Yep, and
all the
all of
comments
the
and everything,
yep.
and see what they're like.
I started to say, make sure you read the reviews, because if they've ever had bed bugs or ghost or anything, it'll be in the reviews.
Now, I don't care if they got ghosts, that'll be entertainment. Bed bugs, not so much.
Y'all do know that I think they shot down another UFO up there around Canada the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon Canada issued it to be shot down, and one of the Americans' F-22s took off after it and shot it down, but they said the weather was bad, they couldn't find it. They didn't know where it went and couldn't figure out why it was still flying. I'm sitting here thinking, this all don't make sense.
That's
No.
you know what it is? It's a cover up.
I think a lot of it is they're talking about it now because it'd get people interested in it instead of what they're doing.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Thank you for saying that, because that's what I was thinking too. I just didn't know how to say it properly.
Because it's election, close to election.
Yeah. Well, why do you think the other opponent is looking at what is it, 400 years in jail?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
stupid. Did you tell them what Biden said?
Yeah. Yeah, have y'all seen that video about where he was saying that he
They're,
couldn't win?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
he
That's what
said
she's talking about.
we're just all going to vote for Trump, and I can't win.
He did. He said that. I saw that.
Yep.
What it is they're trying to make United States into a communistic country, just like
Michael,
They're
China, just like
they
Russia,
are
and all that.
hell bent
But
on it.
here's the thing:
Jasons.
all these people that is pushing for uh, a communistic instead of capitalistic country don't understand that the countries that are communistic don't allow their stupid crap that they're doing here in the United States. They
uh-huh.
will shoot them. Are they so stupid they don't understand that?
Yeah, they are. They believe the lies they're being told.
Yeah.
Yep.
I watched a video the other day of this girl put up of one of the Trump rallies, and what it was, she was outside before the Trump rally, and of course all these leftists are over, across the road, just hoopla on it and having a fit and cussing up one side and down the other, and calling everybody that was going into the Trump rally, names and stuff. And she walked up to a couple of them and asked them. She said, "I'll tell you what." She said, "Would you walk over here with me to the other side of the road and see how these people treat you?" And most of them were like, "No, no, 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 no. We wouldn't make it over there. They would hurt us."
Yeah.
This black dude finally said he would. He said, in fact, he said, "I've got a ticket to go in." He said, "But I'm afraid to go in because it's all white people lined up over there." And she's like, "Well, come and go with me and talk to these people." Very first person they walked up to, they asked him, "Would this man be safe going inside this rally?" And that guy looked at him and he's like, "Well, why not?"
Exactly.
He walked over and
Exactly.
put his arm around the black dude. He said, "Come on, you go in with us.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be fine."
But you know,
Yeah.
there's
He
a
would
lot.
How can a man that sells out where there are people standing around the block lose against a man that may have 10 people in the audience
Yeah,
and probably they are stagehands? How is
yeah,
that possible?
it's not.
Michael said Red needs to run for the governor of Virginia.
Yeah.
Who
She
said
said she
that?
couldn't run. She just have to roll in.
Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep the comedy rolling.
Well, I have had a governor come up to me one time, and they're at the polling stations and stuff.
Did you moon him too, Red?
No,
See what Michael
no, but he came up
Surprise,
to me.
surprise.
saying. Speak.
He came up to me. He goes, "Well, hello, young lady. How can I?" He said, "What can I do to help you?" I looked at him. I went, I was with a friend of mine. I went, "You can legalize you can legalize marijuana in Virginia." He kind of looked at me real strange, and she's like, "Oh God." And I went telling him statistics about growing it, and compared to each, like wheat or corn, or it's the money that it can bring in. He looked at me. He goes, "Can we have dinner one night?"
Red said, sure.
Mm.
I'm like,
No,
"Sure."
she said, "Do I have to dress up or can I dress down?"
Are you going to buy me some pennies?
She probably asked him how much money he had.
Well, he's gonna invite me out to dinner because he wanted to know more about what I was saying. But unfortunately, at the time, I was leaving Steve, and I just didn't get to do it. But I would have.
Well, you should have. You might could have been living in the mayor's mansion.
No, I don't like rich people. Every rich person I've ever known are complete idiots.
Most of them are.
They are.
I'd
They have
probably be
I
money.
mean,
so rich.
They have, most of them have more money than brains.
yeah, and I mean
Well,
it's
you remember me telling you that I was married for a year and a half and separated for 10? Yeah, the man was rich. I mean, the man was rich when I met him. And yeah, the
which
long fingernails and the skirts, and
Go quit your
uh, I
left.
had to I had to dress up. I mean, we was going to casinos and all kinds of places.
Yeah,
And yeah,
ask her.
I'm not going to say
Invite
I
her to a
didn't.
wine tasting sometime.
Well, I'm not going to say that I didn't enjoy going because I would lie. I did enjoy, but the more I was married to him, the more I realized just how stupid he really was.
well, look
'Cause-
at most of them that'll go out and spend $300-400 on just one meal, lunch, not even supper,
Mhm.
and it's stuff that you could make at home for just little enough.
Well, shit. Who was it paid? What was it? $1,000 for a haircut?
Yeah, uh,
Clinton.
yeah, but I think it was 5,000.
we went to this. Oh God, it was so funny. I mean, here he is. He grew up in Texas around all this money. I'm a hillbilly from West Virginia. And he takes me to this restaurant, fancy restaurant. Waiter's got the towel over his arm and all that. And he brings a bottle of wine over. And he just barely pours just a little bit in it. And I looked at him and went, damn, you're a cheapskate. But I didn't know I was supposed to sniff it, roll it around my mouth, and all. I didn't know that. I just picked up the one glass and chugged it.
You know, you can tell, always tell the difference between a wine taster and a moonshine taster, can't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was your
Yeah.
excuse. I'd say I'm used to tasting moonshine.
Well, a wine taster's got a smell of it. Like you said, roll it around on their tongue and all that. A
And
moonshine taster chugs it to the back of their throat and gets it down.
Well, my husband looked at me like I had just committed a mortal sin. He goes, no. He said, you're supposed to, tell me all this. And I looked at him, I went, wait a minute. First of all, I've never been to a fancy restaurant. I said, the
Oh
only
my
fanciest
gosh.
restaurant I ever been to was McDonald's. That waiter
Oh
lost
my
his
gosh.
cool and just started dying laughing. I went, now just give me a glass of wine, not just little tiny little, don't tease me.
don't tease me, please me.
Exactly.
You say, Michael,
Yeah, the
about Bobby
raccoon.
getting dog bit in the face?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't see that part.
Good
What?
other one there.
Yeah.
Last
Bobby
week, Bobby
got
got bit, got dog bit in the nose while working at a client. Her nose was all tore up, and her eyes both looked like a little, or looked
That could have
a
been
little
little
black.
horrendous.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
gummy, and
Yeah.
30 minutes later, she looked like a smiling raccoon.
Oh my God, is she okay?
See, I
He
didn't
said
see that
she's
part.
getting better, though it could have been worse. Yeah, it could have been worse. That
Yeah.
dog could have taken her nose off.
Face there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she's already been through enough with all
Yeah.
that stuff with her teeth back
Yeah.
yonder.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Michael, you tell Bobby we hope she gets feeling good.
Yeah. That is bad. That's horrible. That's bad.
Sis said with a stick up. Susan said with a stick up the yoo-hoo.
Well, my first inkling that my ex-husband was a complete moron is when I was in the living room and I heard him yelling. like something was killing him.
Oh Lord.
So I went rolling into the bathroom because I didn't know what was wrong. He was standing in the bathtub. The shower heads that you can get and remove and
Yeah,
use.
removable shower head.
Yeah. Well, it was laying in the floor of the bathtub, shooting him straight up,
Yeah.
and he didn't realize that all he had to do was push the button on the faucet to get it to stop.
I just picked the dang thing up.
Exactly. But no,
That
he started
sounds like
screaming and something was killing him.
we got a mouse in the house, and this morning about 3 o'clock, 3:30, well, it was probably 4, about 4:30. I went to the bathroom, and there's a towel laying in the floor, and I went to pee, and the mouse ran out from underneath the towel right to my foot, and here I was in our and Glenn's hollering, "What's the matter? What's the matter?"
Yeah, I'm sitting here sound asleep before I'd been editing and went off to sleep.
And me and her screaming my ass off at 4:30 in the morning.
About giving me a heart attack.
I said, "It's
Travis,
a mouse."
Travis went to the bathroom, and they knew that they had a mouse in there. And Matt and I made some peanut butter and baking soda. And trust me, it'll kill mice. But he went in the bathroom later on that night, and the thing was down in the toilet bowl.
What are you
I said, "Oh
doing?
my God, how'd you get it out?" He goes, "I did, and I flushed it."
Yeah, might as well finish. It wanted to be gone. If it jumped in there and drowned itself, it wanted to be buried at sea. So you might as well send it on.
They wanted to be a sailor.
Uh-huh.
He flushed it down the toilet.
Yeah. What I would have done too, I would have tried to got it out.
I know.
Oh,
One night we was at my cousin's house, and there was a mouse in the house, and we chased that thing, and it run in behind the refrigerator. Well, James went and pulled
Oh,
the refrigerator out, and that little mouse on the coils that does this on the back of the refrigerator, it was hanging on with its paws just a dangling. That was
oh.
so funny. He got it, turned it outside, but it's just hanging there like, I'm gone now. It's
Yeah,
like this little joke that they had, and they showed a mouse in the trap, and this boy mouse behind it, and it said they'll F you when you're at your worst.
yeah. Good night, honey. I love you too. Sleep well. I'll
Nah.
wake you up later. Forgive me. Yeah.
Well, howdy,
Hello,
all
old
things
bakers. Jinx.
hi.
How are y'all doing? Michael said, "Red, you so funny."
I had a friend of mine threaten me one time, Michael, that if I did what I was planning on doing, she was going to kill me. What I was going to do is get a great big tugboat, big enough the one that wouldn't go down in the toilet, and I didn't want to destroy her piping. I mean, that's wrong. But it's going to be big enough I could put it in her toilet. Then I was going to take a lifesaver candy, tie a piece of string to it, tape it on the toilet, and have it hanging down to the lifeboat or to the tugboat. I said, when you asked me what I was doing, I was going to tell you I was throwing the Tidy Bowl man a lifesaver. She said, "You do that and I'll kill you." Another friend of mine went, "That goes ditto for me." And I went, "Well, crap."
Well, after the carrot situation,
And you want, yeah, you got a tickle.
Yeah.
I've been coughing my
After
teeth.
the carrot situation, yeah.
you
That was
really
funny.
can't blame them.
No.
I go to the bathroom in the dark, and Glenn told me he's going to put a plunger in the toilet.
Yeah, because you'll go in there
Oh,
and start
I have
hollering.
got to bring
You
your
got
cup
this.
down. Next time I'm down there, I have had a cup made that said, "What is the meanest thing that you can do to a person?" It says, "Take out the light bulb and stick the plunger in the toilet." I actually have that on a cup.
Well, Glenn told me he was going to do it to me.
Well, you fuss at me for leaving the ring up. I told her I was going to start
Hey,
shutting
there's
it.
nothing worse than going to go pee at night for a woman and sit on the toilet and fall in.
That's what I tried to tell him.
I told her I was
That's
going to
why I
start
enjoy having my own
shutting it
restroom.
off.
Yeah,
When she
well,
sat down there and pees all over
the
herself,
fellas in my house, they know
Yeah.
it's a toilet. That means you sit on it and you point that little thing down to pee.
You tell him.
well, I
It's not a
understand.
urinal. It's
You know,
not,
well, actually,
Yeah.
it's both. That's the reason it's got the double lid. And you know, with a
that is
man,
so you can clean
Yeah.
it properly. It's not so you can raise it up and
Only every one.
pee all
well,
over
men
the bathroom.
supposed to raise it up to to go pee, But that's what I started saying. Man's got to raise it up when he goes pee, and then when he's got to go poo, he's got to put it back down. So
A man
we
don't
got to
gotta put it up to
we
go
we
pee. You
we
can
got to
park
look
the
to see
foot
which way.
on that seat and point that little winky down.
Yeah, but we got to look to make sure it's up or down when we go. So why can't a woman look before she goes?
Because we don't put it up. It's always down. No matter what, it's
Well, I
down.
said I'll start shutting the whole lid now. That's the way I was raised
You done
when I was
that
a
to me
kid.
one time.
Yeah, and you quit fussing a long time too when you sat down there and peed on yourself, didn't you?
No, because I had to clean that mess up. I
That's
was so
right.
mad.
You did it. You
Because
cleaned it.
I'd woke up and I was about to pee all over myself. And here I am walking all stiff legged, trying to hold it in, get in there and get my pants down real fast and sit down and start peeing. And I'm like, why is it splattering everywhere? And I sit on the lid, was peeing everywhere.
Oh no! I think every woman's done it at least once or twice in their life.
Oh, I was so mad. Why did you do that?
Well, you did ask him to put the lid down.
Crap on it.
It's,
Oh, Lord. That sounds like me. I hate going to the bathroom. It's the most aggravating thing to me in the whole wide world. I hate it. And I'll hold it till I'm walking cross-legged. I gotta go. And then I don't look at nothing. I just go. And I'm in there like, oh my gosh, I ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, my nephews, when they was about teenagers. Well, some of them might not have been teenagers when they y'all all wanted to go to Carowinds because they put in that big water thing.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
And that big log come down through there, and I seen it out ahead of us there. When it hit, I mean, that water come through the tunnel where you're standing, and it's a wire tunnel. Well, everybody that was in there got out, and we was standing there, and I seen that log come over the top.
And he plastered me to the
Grabbed that
fence.
cage behind her, arm on each side of her, and just stuck my face in her back.
And my hair goes, it parted in the middle. It was hit with so much force.
Wow.
Water. I was soaked. Boy, they thought that was funny.
Bobby or Michael talking about that about Bobby, and that's what come to my mind was going to Carowinds.
He did. The first thing I seen was his arms on both sides of me, and he grabbed the cage and just pushed. And then that water just.
Well, you didn't go flying away with the water. I held you.
Yeah. If I hadn't popped it, you'd have drowned it.
What if I hadn't anyway? It's life is so hard.
It was cooler after that. It
My
was
poor
all
grandma.
But it was.
My poor grandma Farley. She had a very, very weak bladder. Every time that woman sneezed or coughed, she'd pee herself. Every time. Well, she came out to the house, and we were all sitting there, and we were playing Scrabble. And she got so tickled that she peed all over herself. Mom had to wash her clothes and give her a house coat to wear, and That was so funny.
Yep, Michael, I pulled a good one on her mama when we was a
I
dating.
bet you don't pull any more pranks on her.
I bet not either.
Her mama come up there and said her shoe was untied and handed me her cup of tea, told me to hold her tea while she tied her shoe. Well, I'm sitting there holding her tea and my beer. I dumped about half of my beer in her tea. She raised back up there, got her tea, took a swallow of it, and started just fussing. You gonna have to drink this. I ain't throwing this away. I'm sitting there, oh my God, I hate tea. I ain't never been able to stand brewed tea.
No.
That stuff was nasty. But now it wasn't too bad with the beer in it.
Brewed tea's the best tea.
No,
he
it's
eats that stuff you get a spoonful of and stir it up.
Lipton iced tea.
He
Instant.
likes the instant tea stuff.
Yep, and that stuff ain't no
Yeah.
good. Ain't no
Best tea is sun tea.
I was dating this one guy and he decided to pull a prank on me.
Sun-brewed tea.
I asked him to get me some tea while he was up. So yeah, he got me some tea. But then he poured half a salt shaker in it. When
Carla.
he brought it back to me and I took a drink, I cussed him up one side and down the other. And I told him he can get out of my house and don't he ever darken my door again.
Used to, whenever I was little and I was chewing gum and it was mealtime, I'd take my gum out and park it on my plate, on the edge of my plate. Well, I done that one day and I got up to go get something, I don't remember, to go with whatever I was eating. And Grandma had hot peppers. Carla took the hot pepper and dotted it all over my chewing gum. Well, I put it in my mouth. Needless to say, it was on fire. So she went out to walk the dog, and I had one of these, the old Hardee's cups, plastic with the lid. I got some tea. It was so hot that day. She was walking the dog. She came back, and I said, "Here, you want some cold tea?" Yeah. I took hot sauce, ketchup, mustard, salt, pepper. She took her big old swallow of that tea and went to gagging.
I just spit it right in the face.
I was standing on porch. You'd have to spit pretty high.
That stuff, I could have spit it up that high.
But I did. I got her back. She looked at her tea from then on, and she took any from me.
That
He
Bet
said
she
after
did.
Michael said after he done that to Bobby, pulled that prank on her Red, that she went and put vinegar in his cereal the next morning and give it to him.
In bed.
ooh.
Can you imagine that?
No, made the milk taste sour. It
That
flavored
too.
the milk.
Oh.
Yep, it would have.
Yep.
Gee, that would have been clumpy going down.
Uh-huh.
It probably been even clumpier hitting you.
You want some cereal in the morning?
Sure.
Y'all see them little devils?
You'll be thinking them goat pellets tasted real good.
Oh, man, I got to tell y'all a story. Marietta come in the other day, and all them boys, I'm telling you, we was trying to get her away from them, and we took her to the shade, and she was standing there going, wasn't she? Her tongue.
Well, they made but 12 boys in there.
Yeah, so we had to separate them. Well, my back's been hurting, so I hadn't been going all the way down to the end of the pasture to feed the boys. I've been feeding the girls, and Glenn's been to feed the boys. Well, I was missing Noodle and Tim Tim and the boys, so I went down there. Noodle was so mad at me. He wouldn't come to me. He wouldn't eat from my hand. I'd say Noodle, and he'd look up and he'd go, and he'd go right back to eat.
You know why?
Oh, no.
I had been throwing the feed out there, and he realized he could eat more before I throw it out there than he can trying to stand there and get a bite out of your hand with 12 other goats there.
No,
With
he
it.
was mad at
Yeah,
me.
uh-huh.
He was. He wouldn't come to me or nothing. And these two goats would actually fight over if they was on each side of me, they was okay. But if both of them was on one side, they would fight over who walked next to me.
Tim
Oh no.
Wow.
and that little white one,
It's like
I've been
Tiki and
trying to keep them
Tucker.
fish off the fence. I didn't want to try to climb the fence to get to me.
Tiki and Tucker will lay right beside each other on my bed. Right beside each other. They won't bother each other. They get off my bed and it's a free for all. On my bed, no.
Well, they've actually about tripped me fighting over who was going to walk beside of me because one would cut the other one off and they'd cut me off too. And
Yeah.
Wow.
Noodle wouldn't have nothing to do with me till I was getting ready to leave. And I went over and petted him and I said, I still love you no matter how bad you are at me. And I went up to check the water and he walked with me then. But he would not come
Aw.
to me for the first 10 minutes I was in there.
See, Michael.
Why was he
Uh,
mad?
Because I hadn't been down there to see him in 3 days.
Because I
Because
took
Oh.
away from the, because I put them away from the 14 girls.
Oh.
Oh,
Did you read Michael's last comment?
uh-huh.
He said, "You gonna read it, Red?"
Yeah.
It's funny. That'd been bad because I'd probably been coming home needing to pee and I'd have peed all over myself right there.
That's funny.
I
I
tripped
would
his butt.
probably kill somebody before I realized what I was even doing.
He
That's
was
funny.
throwing rocks at me when he come out. LOL.
See, I wouldn't know how to act around him. I mean, what if we've been out to dinner or something? And I'm like, would you like some shrimp? Oh, I'm so sorry.
well, I was getting ready to ask him if that the one he's talking about lives over here on 21.
You know, I would, you know, short things come in big packages. I mean, I
I was
wouldn't know how to act around him.
no, because you'd be thinking, what's the surprise he's got for me?
He goes off on the deep end. Got a really short
Red,
temper
just
there, don't
think.
you?
You
I
could
mean,
probably
stuff
talk.
like that is. I know. I would look at him and go, "Good, you got a short temper." I know I would. Not being disrespectful, but it's just my mouth tends to get me in trouble.
He's so much fun. He loves the
Red,
little
look at it
dude.
this way. You could probably have a conversation eye to eye with him.
Well, she ought to be able to with her sitting down all the time.
Well, see, there's another joke. I like you. We see eye to eye.
Oh,
He'd say, yeah,
uh-huh.
I see you're a one-eyed taco because you don't wear no bloomers.
I would not do it disrespectfully at all.
She didn't even hear me. Oh, me. Well, you know, Michael, it's best to accept who you are and be happy with yourself. So it's good that he's that way. I
Yep.
mean, like heavy people that don't like being heavy and they hate themselves. I mean,
Yeah,
if you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody else.
this is
Well,
true.
it sounds like that guy is like my type of guy. I mean, we both have our own, our own uniqueness.
Disadvantages.
I'm not going to call it disability because it's not a disability. We have
Right.
our own uniqueness, so we can laugh at ourselves. Because my biggest motto is, if you can't laugh at yourself, you have no right to laugh at others.
Yep.
Michael said he would say, Red, pull me down so we can. can be the
So it's
same
the same
size.
I could probably have a lot of fun with this guy.
What you talking about, Reg? You can have a lot of fun with anybody.
Well, that's okay.
This is true.
Good point.
He probably says, "What are you talking about?" She says, "I can do that in the bedroom by myself."
With her pinata.
No, just by myself.
I
Take
bet
out my pinata. Take out my pinata and go. Well, damn, it's about you're about your size. Yeah,
have you
you
named
can take it either way you want to.
it? Oh me. What have you
My
named
sister, my sister calls me a weirdo. She goes,
Pinky.
"You are such a weirdo."
it? Pinky Winky. Glenn said you named it Pinky Winky.
Oh Lordy, Red's speechless here.
Uh-huh.
She's
It's
opened her
a
mouth twice and nothing come out.
She's thinking, but she's silent.
Yeah, I know it.
uh-huh.
She's opened her mouth twice, but nothing come out the other time.
She's practicing for later.
I keep going, Jack be nibble, Jack be quick. Can you jump? Can you jump over the candlestick? Yeah.
No, you have to roll across it, Red.
If I'd only rode a little faster, maybe my ass wouldn't be on fire. Yeah.
Well, if he'd have just thought and stopped a few feet before he got to it, it wouldn't have mattered.
God. Someone I can misbehave with some more. That sounds like so much fun. You know, I was going to do it, but Travis told me I was not allowed to. But it was some, yeah, but my own son goes, "Mom, you need to behave." That gets really bad.
Red said Mike was
Just get him a
get
UPS or FedEx costume.
Be happy.
She'll be happy.
Hey, I like gnomes too.
That's
But no,
what?
what I was going to do is I was going to take these googly eyes and I was going to go around Walmart and like put them on diaper, diaper boxes with where the baby's eyes were, and they would be googly eyes, or dog bone boxes, googly eyes. Travis goes, "I will not bring you to the store if you do that." Like,
And you're scared of a doll.
only
Googly eyes
porcelain
on the
dolls.
pepper.
Only porcelain dolls.
He said FedEx costumes are brown. She would be mistaken as little turd with legs.
Little turtle
That's
wheels.
funny.
You say,
Twinkie Winky.
I'll never look at a Twinkie the same.
Twinkie Winky.
It already comes.
You know, they do have this white stuff in them that comes out.
That's what I told her she should do with her pinata. Whenever somebody whacked it, it squirted white stuff.
The whole thing you have to do is melt a can of whipped cream in it.
Uh-huh.
That's so nasty.
Says who?
Hey, if I said it's nasty, then it's not.
Yeah, if you'd have thought about it,
Nasty.
you'd had a can mounted in there.
She'd had a whole keg
She'd had
hooked up to it.
no, she'd had a string on the back side.
I'm a good girl.
She'd be standing there with her mouth open saying, "Whack it, whack it."
Actually, I did do that about the blue balls. I did do that. I won't lie. As everyone was taking the uh no,
Michael said he loved your
oh,
sense
I
of humor.
now I remember what I called it. We had a Nerf bat, a Nerf baseball. The foam ones, and I nicknamed it the Weenie Whacker.
Red. Michael said, I love your sense of humor, Red. You can hang with the best of them.
Oh, well, thank you.
Or at least her boobs
But
can. She
yeah,
can tuck them in her drawers.
I made 2 gigantic blue balls to go on the 3-foot
Keebler Ale.
pinata.
You hear that, Red?
What?
Sis said, don't forget the Keebler ales.
Yeah, the elf milk.
The what?
The
Let me check
kefir
it out.
milk. You remember
Oh
the kefir?
God!
I'll be right
I
back, y'all.
kept asking y'all, how do you get Keebler milk?
Uh-huh. Yeah, she said, how do you get Keebler milk? I said, not Keebler,
It
Keebler.
went downhill from there with real tweezers.
Yeah, I did with a pair of tweezers.
But here we have this great big pink penis, and we've used that thing twice. I know it sounds kind of dirty, but we
Well, I
whacked that
know that's
weenie twice.
you know.
No doubt.
You hear me, Red?
What?
I ain't gonna ask you how you used it.
I told you we whacked it with the weenie whacker.
Yeah, but you said you used it twice.
Well, yeah, I had to make. I already busted the blue balls. I had to make more.
Did you get ready to say you done blew it up?
That's what it sounded to me like.
Good had.
Sis said, oh my gosh, Brenda, now I'm crying. You did it to me.
Oh, did you hear that? Red talking about blowing her, blowing
I'm
her
talking
feet.
about busted balls.
I've heard it before.
And I got that close to saying I blew them.
Okay. What did I do, Urban Bucket? Apparently, you're behind time or something, honey.
Oh, man.
Because I don't know what I did. I made her cry, though.
Oh, Lordy.
Daggone, I miss these nights.
I know.
Oh, gosh, if we only lived closer, we could all go to Walmart together.
No doubt. Walmart wouldn't be the same.
I seriously Travis won't let me do this either, neither will Matt. I seriously want to go and get one of the biggest cup-sized black bras I can find and wear it over my head and pretend like I'm Minnie Mouse in Walmart. But my boys won't let me do it.
I did it. I did it in Walmart one time. And Chase
Yeah,
Paul's
I know.
nephew,
You're the one that gave me the idea.
Chase Paul's nephew all over Walmart with the biggest bra I could find in the store.
Sis said they would kick y'all out. Or kick us out.
I've never been kicked out yet.
They'd call the law and Red would flip over automatically.
I don't know. I mean, I went to Walmart hauling Marco. You know how many people in that store hollered polo? A lot.
I've heard people do that before. Somebody holler out Marco,
I was
and
going
everybody
through
else
there
is
and
like,
I went,
Polo.
I was going through that. I think I was looking for Travis. Or maybe I was looking for Matt. Anyways, I was looking for one of the boys. And I went, Marco. There was like 6 people, including employees, that went, polo. Oh, God.
You should have said, I didn't think my car was that big.
All I have to say, Daddy loved my sense of humor. He didn't know how to react to it, though. He was just like, "How? I'm gonna walk away." You know,
Yep.
if y'all don't quit your fussing, I'm gonna take my belt off and bust your ass. But Daddy, some of us in this house may enjoy that. He just went,
Yeah, I told Daddy when he told me that, I said, yeah, but your pants fall off.
well, my niece looked at me and she goes, "I can't believe you said that to Papa." He's used to my sense of humor.
Yeah, me and Carla and Lois used to pull some good ones on poor old Daddy. He hated cigarette smoke. Hated it. And we was coming home from church, and me and Carla and Lois sitting in the car, and we lit up cigarettes, and we was hotboxing them and just blowing the smoke in the car. He opened the door and it pulled out in his face.
Oh,
We done it on purpose because we knew what he'd say. What are y'all doing? We just died laughing.
you know, I never smoked a cigarette in front of my dad, ever.
Really?
Never smoked a cigarette in front of him. I thought that he had already left one time. They was going back home. I lived in Christiansburg. I had a lot of people on my porch that day. You know, we were all sitting there talking, and I thought they had left. And he came around the house, and I had a cigarette in my hand. I immediately put it down beside me. I mean, you could see the smoke coming up, but I never smoked a cigarette in front of that man, ever.
Oh,
I could not do it. To me, that was disrespectful to him, and no, I could not do it. I mean, I do have my limits. I do have my limits how far I'll go. They might be few and far between, but I still have my limits.
Okay. I only have one thing to say to that.
What?
You want to quit smoking?
No, I'm allergic to prison.
that's the
But
way
your daddy's watching you all the time now.
Exactly.
That's not fair.
It's the truth, though.
Oh,
Daddy's
That's
been picking on Glenn.
yeah.
He went and Glenn was using the scrape blade, and the pins hold it in a certain angle. Glenn had to get off and on the tractor about 25 times the other day because the pin kept popping out.
I'm going down through there one time. I heard ping. I turned around and looked, and it was flipping in the air.
wow.
So I had to
Oh my
stop, back
goodness.
up, raise the blade up, back up, get the pin, put it, turn the blade back around at the right angle, put the pin back in it, and take off again. And sometimes I wouldn't go a foot, and it'd pop right back out. I'm like, come on now, I need to get this job done.
He was trying
Okay.
to tell you something.
Enough is enough.
He was trying to tell him, I can pick on you now, and you can't do nothing
I
about it.
think that's
Uh-huh.
because he's picking on me bad here lately.
I'm telling you, this ain't no lie. One day, I went to feed the dog, and I was coming back by the trailer where we had the bread, and Glenn had went in the house, and I didn't know it. And I come by, and I seen him standing there with a flannel shirt on, and then Glenn comes out the door, and I looked back because he was right there between the trailer and the tractor, and I know it was Daddy. I know it was
Yeah.
Daddy.
Oh yeah.
Well, Travis told you that day he saw a guy standing near that barn
Yep.
and described to you what he looked like.
Yep.
Coming to find out, it was her daddy.
Yeah.
And he had been gone for how long by then?
Well, about a year, or a little over
Yeah,
a
it's
year.
probably just a little under a year.
Actually, it's a wonder they didn't think you were a military guy, but probably because of the
with
beard,
me.
they
Look
thought
like
Duck Commander.
Commanders.
Yeah, I read that.
Cute. I hope you just obliged and didn't tell him no different. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Travis has to get him some more camo pants. His is getting holes in them.
I only
So
have one pair. Well,
he's got holes in the pockets. He's got holes in the legs. He's like,
no,
they're
I
still
guess.
good.
Exactly. They're just now getting comfortable.
Hey, they're camo. You don't see those hoes, okay?
That's right. They're invisible.
The
Like
only camo that I don't like, and you will never find me wearing, is pink camo. I mean, seriously, what are you going to do? Go out there and hunt a flamingo?
Exactly.
Well, you might.
Exactly.
I think they're endangered.
Hey, look at all the pink and purple
Really ain't
hair
this
anymore, so you might want to hide.
No doubt.
Well, I don't mind pink and purple and green and blue hair. That don't bother me at all. I could care less about that. And actually, the rainbow colored
For
hair,
starters,
like the green and the blue or the purple, how they have that two shades. I like that. I think
honey,
it's pretty cool.
here's something for you to think about. Deer really don't care that you're wearing green camouflage. They're colorblind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Oh,
So,
Sis, that's just sweet. Well, I'm telling you, I know Daddy's been around a lot because Glenn don't drink coffee, and my coffee's the caramel latte, so it don't smell like coffee. And
aw,
we was sitting over one morning, and I smelled Daddy loved his coffee of the mornings, and that was what I smelled was coffee, and there wasn't a bit brewing.
well, the other morning I woke up and thought was have a good breakfast. She was already sitting on the couch up. I raised up and said, "Are you cooking bacon?"
You cooking bacon? That's the first thing he said. I said, no.
I mean, it was
Are you crazy?
it smelled like the bacon I remembered when I was a kid.
That was your mom.
Wow.
That was your mom.
that was Mama.
Or grandma. 'Cause they
Yeah.
The
both,
lady that was here the other day, we were over by the door and we were talking. And I looked at her, I goes, who's like the tall guy about Travis's height, rounded shoulders? He's bald on top. I mean, I can see his picture I'm looking at y'all. And she looked at me funny. She goes, that sounds like my Uncle Thomas. And I described him to a T. I said, what I'm seeing is he's wearing a dark maroon shirt. I said, apparently he likes maroon. Her eyes got real big. She goes, he's got a dark maroon car. I think he does like maroon. I mean, and there's another person coming in. Who's Georgie? She looked at me real funny. She goes, that's my aunt. She's been dead for a few years now.
Good or bad?
Well, she's here.
Yeah.
And she was just, I mean, I read her like I done Alex that I didn't mean to freak Alex out that day. I did not mean to do that. And I still feel bad to this day about that.
Well, he has the same thing happen. So, because he told us one time that somebody was telling him to tell us that we just needed to go fishing because we just work too much. So he knows how it is because he gets them too.
Was it that he was freaked out because it was his friend that died in the war?
I think so. I think that bothered him.
Because the only thing he said is, I don't want to talk about it. I mean, his eyes were huge. I didn't mean to freak him out.
I don't think he did. I just think it
probably caught him off guard.
Yeah, because like I said, he did. He told me and Glenn, what was it, the first or second time we was there? And I figured it was Glenn's mama because we used to go camping with her and Delmer all the time. And I figured it was her, and he said, no, it's a man. And see, Daddy hadn't, passed away or nothing then.
Huh.
So I don't know who it was, but
Probably
they
JD.
probably. But he did. He said, y'all work too hard. Y'all just need to go fishing. And I said, well, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
she's ready.
used
I
to
start.
check out every car our kids bought. Within 3 to 4 days of buying it, you'd walk out the door and see him out there checking it out, and he was gone. He'd been gone for a few years.
Yeah, she's ready to get rid of the animals to go fishing until I start getting ready to load them up.
You're getting rid of your animals?
It's what he wants to do. And I understand. I mean, because there's days, I'm hurting so bad I don't feel like going out and feeding too, but
Yeah, Red, I
it's
turned.
just, they're my happy place. I told Mama, I said, if there's anything going on that I'm stressed out about, I can go down there, love on them animals. They love me back, and I'm okay. I'm just
Yeah.
chilled.
Yeah, I understand now.
Red, in August, I will turn 26 for the second time. So it's time for me to enjoy something
I can
besides
understand
life.
that.
Well, I can understand it too, but it's just hard because
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
love on all the animals, whether it's pigs, the cats, the cows. I've hand fed
Yeah.
everything, and I can call them all by name, and they'll look at me.
The mind says I can do this. The body says, "Oh, the hell you can."
But exactly.
I know. I'll be
Yeah,
46 again in January.
she keeps telling everybody a lot of times, well, if I don't feel like it, she can get out here and do all this stuff by herself.
I did while you had gallbladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you get out
Yeah,
there and feed
speaking of
all
that,
them
And you paid for
um
it.
have you
Yeah.
had more problems with that?
animals? You
With
can't put
that?
them all together.
Hey Gwen,
His
have you had any more problems with that?
his side still hurts him.
Yeah.
I thought the other day his appendix, and
Well, they're supposed to be sending me back, which I missed a call the other day about getting an appointment, and I tried to call them back, and they didn't answer, and then I forgot to call them yesterday and today.
Uh-oh.
So I figure I need to try to remember to call them Monday about getting an appointment, but I'm supposed to go back in for another scan or something on my appendix. My family doctor keeps thinking it's my appendix.
I better
Hmm.
do something. If that's your appendix, that's
They can rupture.
yeah, you
yep,
could die from that.
yep. And I mean, he'll be out here working still, just holding his side.
I get it
Not good.
done.
Well, what about your feet? I know that you were having shots and stuff in your back and April.
I don't know. I think the shots helped, but my muscles are still so tight that they tighten up right there at my waist, like where your dimples are in your back. It's about that spot. And it'll tighten up so bad. That's the reason I ain't been able to go see the boys, because my back gets hurting so bad. I'm walking back and I'm like, I can't make it.
Well, see, Travis, he's got a really bad sciatic nerve. His lower back. It's because of the ATV where it nearly killed him. And he has been going to a acupuncturist. He after pain. I mean, he used to cry. Not around me because Travis won't cry around people. But he would cry because he was in that much pain. And he started going to this acupuncturist.
Mhm.
And it has helped him tremendously.
Glenn would come pick me up from work and I'd be bawling and he'd be sitting over there, why are you crying? I'm like, Glenn, I'm hurting so bad. I feel like I'm dying.
Well, I understood that part. I just didn't know why at the time because you hadn't told me.
Because I don't
Like when
talk
I
about
fell
it.
up there the other week and you was out here hollering, "Are you all right? Are you
Well, I
all right?"
couldn't see.
I couldn't hardly speak. I'd
Well,
have been
and maybe
out. I still couldn't answer the.
well,
No, but
see,
I'm on the
this
way.
acupuncturist is at Direct Therapy here in Stewart. I don't know if your insurance would cover that or not. Travis's insurance does. He had to go to a specialist, a back specialist, before they sent him there, and then his insurance paid for it. But I'm telling
Yeah, he
you,
had to get
it
a
has made
referral.
us. I mean, it has made a tremendous
Ain't that what they're
change.
talking about with you now?
One acupuncturist,
They're wanting to take, I forget what she calls it, but they take needles. They call
dry
it,
needling, dry
yes,
needling. What
that's what they're
Travis is
wanting to
going
do.
through.
Because this is no lie. I can be laying down and I realize my head's not even touching the pillow. I mean, my muscles are that tight. I'm laying and my head's not even on the pillow.
Of
I'm
course, you get
telling you, it works. Travis, there was a few times when his muscles started having spasming, you know, so the needle kind of got a little bit stuck. He said it did hurt them trying to get that out. That did hurt, but it wasn't to a pain that wasn't manageable. You know, it was a lot less than what he had been going through. And
Well,
I
see,
mean, he's had it in his shoulders, he's had it in his back. It's just helped him tremendously.
well, a lot of mornings I can get up and my muscles in my legs are just continuously to the point they're about cramping, and they do it from about 6 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the evening, non-stop, non-stop. I mean, it don't do it just a few times and quit, and then it go back. It does it non-stop from my neck.
You know the bar that is on front of a four-wheeler, that guard bar?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what got broke over his back.
Oh gosh.
It flipped, and first of all, it slung him off. Then it ran, and when it did, he landed on the front where the bar was, bent that. It flipped in the air and then came back down on him again.
That's
I'll be
awful.
right back. We got to take a couple of dogs out.
Okie
Okay,
doke.
okay. But yeah, I mean, it has really helped him a lot.
Well, I know it's my legs is not. They would have a lot of pain in them, and it would be so bad, like neuropathy. But it's not coming from the diabetes,
Oh, looky, looky.
and it because whenever they done the physical therapy, it got worse. But it would get so bad, it would wake
Hey,
me up.
buddy.
Hey guys, yeah,
Hey, you.
I'm doing good. So I was at your life also, but I was a bit busy with family.
Hey.
So yeah,
Well, I forgot about you doing your movies and stuff. I can't keep that in my head when
yeah,
you're doing your movies and.
yeah. You don't have to, Glenn. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, when you guys were actually live, I was showering down dinner and
Ah,
yeah, so
I understand. When it's time to eat, it's time to eat.
yep,
Yeah,
I know. I had told my cousin he took his mama down to see their brother this week or his brother this weekend because his brother had surgery, and their mama wanted to go down there, so he was taking her. Well, he wanted to know if I'd go put the dog up for him tonight and go back in the morning and let it out. And I actually had forgotten that I had to go put his dog up tonight when I first went live. So we had to
Ooh.
go down and go do that and then come back and went live again.
Okay. I see some good here. But, yeah, I just thought since you're live again, why not pop in and say what's up?
Well,
Well,
we're
we're
glad
glad you
you
did.
did.
I know
Yeah,
I'm to get your playlist back to running. I've shut it down for a day or two while I was doing some editing and stuff because my computer just ain't fast enough to do it all.
yeah, no, I get you, Glenn. I get you. But,
How many cars do you like?
um, I need about a little under 1,400.
But you know they've come out with that new thing now. If you've got 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours, you can get
Monthly.
And
what is the name of it now?
membership.
Hey,
Yeah,
you can get the fan
yeah,
base where you can do
yeah,
the
the
chat
fan.
and all that.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of what I'm aiming for right now. So, yeah,
Well, you don't like, but if you like 1,400 and you don't like, but about 400 of being able to get that part.
Yep.
yeah. So,
But
I
being that
mean,
close and already got 1,000 subscribers, I'd go ahead and strive on for the other.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep going, but I mean, just to get it solid, I'm gonna do that 3,000 one full.
Well,
So,
I'll get your playlist back to running. We'll see if we can't get that other 400 hours knocked out.
yeah, and thanks, I appreciate that, Glenn. I mean,
No problem, buddy.
Hey guys, I gotta go. I gotta go bathroom.
Okie dokie. We
Hey,
need
uh,
to get off
Oh,
here too in a little bit.
Red, don't forget to go over and check that video out I put out today and see and let me know what you think.
I will. I
We
will.
Watch
love
it all the way to the end.
No, say that again.
Watch it all the way to the end.
I always do.
There might be something at the end that might be interesting too.
you.
Okay, I'll always watch it to the end.
All
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Well, good night, everyone.
right,
Good
night,
Red,
night.
Glenn.
hanging
You.
out with us.
Thank you for coming on. It's been a while. I miss y'all.
Hey, we
Yeah.
miss y'all
Miss
too.
y'all.
Bye bye.
Bye.
But yeah, DJ, I think I was somewhere right around about halfway through your playlist.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, as as y'all know, I have a lot of videos.
Yeah, yeah, I found that out.
A
I didn't know
lot.
you'd been doing YouTube that long.
Yeah, I've been on way longer than most of the group we have.
Yeah,
Uh, I mean,
I think it's what, like 7 years
well,
when you
I
very first started.
well actually, if I didn't delete some videos, I've been making videos for over 11, 12 years
I hear
now.
you.
So, I mean, I began a long time ago. So,
Hey,
why he's so good at editing now.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
some stuff too.
yeah. I mean, I be I began editing on my iPad when I began, so yeah, I know a thing or two, and I'm all self-taught, so
Yeah.
yeah,
A lot of times that's better than somebody that went and took classes because somebody that's self-taught has really put in the time to try to learn it. They wanted to learn it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, look, YouTube has always been a hobby of mine, and it I think about 5 years ago now. Why not make it into my career? I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like honestly, I will be doing YouTube for the remainder of my time. So yeah.
Brenda Red said she had to run.
She had to run, huh?
She
Yeah.
I want to
What
see.
she
Oh,
said, but
did you tell her to video it? Because we want to see it.
no, I wasn't thinking about that. She acted like she was in such a hurry. I didn't try to pick at her.
She was in a hurry to sit on Johnny's lap.
Ah,
Well, I don't
Uh,
know if she was planning on going, but she said she had to go.
oh,
And she had that look in her eyes that you did not want to keep her too long.
yeah. No.
ah.
Hmm.
She had to go see a lady about a horse, huh?
Maybe I
Uh,
might have been a chase honk.
Right, Smarty Pants.
uh, but yeah, I mean, I was so good when all of this is said and done. I will be on YouTube for maybe 50 years. So, yeah, that's my plan because I began when I was 15, and honestly, I don't plan to give it up until I have to.
I
You
understand
know
that.
what? There was no such thing as the internet or YouTube when I was 15 years old.
I
Yeah,
didn't even have such a thing called as a cell phone when I was 15.
No, me neither.
no,
In fact, when I was 15, we still had a party line.
Yeah,
Yep.
actually, I
uh,
think mom and daddy still had a party line. I think I was 18.
hmm,
Yep.
No, it's probably about 16 when they changed it over there and done away with the party lines.
Yeah, there was still a party line after me and Paul got married.
Yeah,
hmm.
Yep. For a
I
few
know
years.
that phone company that mom and them was with at that time. I'm thinking I was around probably about 15, 16. They done away with all the party lines, but
Huh.
it was just a small telephone company. It wasn't like
Yeah.
Spring AT&T.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
that telephone company is still in business, and it
Huh.
has expanded. They even got their own cable company and everything now.
Oh, nice. Hmm.
I thought they was going to get fiber optic up here. They got within about a mile of the house and stopped. Yeah, we got fiber optic on one side about a mile from us, and cable on the other side about a mile, and every one of them will go the extra mile to get it to us.
Uh,
Got it about a half a
Well,
mile from us, both ways.
hmm.
well,
Uh,
actually, that's probably closer to us about a half a mile, but they say it's over a mile. But I
Yeah,
know it ain't over a mile because
yeah.
it
It's
just.
about a half a mile each way for us. It's at the property line.
Hey,
It's like
mm,
they went to the property line, jumped over us, and started again at the other end of the
huh.
property.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
that's like when they run the natural gas through here. They come by our road and went over here to a dirt road and come through a dirt road where there was three houses on,
Hmm.
hmm.
and there was 8 or 10 houses on this road. And the dirt road, I mean, they come by us and went through the dirt road, which went down behind us, and then the road comes back, so it's kind of on three sides of us, the
Yeah,
gas line.
Huh.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, it
That
would have
don't
been
surprise
closer if they had cut and come down our road and went out. They would have saved probably 5 miles of pipe.
me. Yeah, but if it's anything like ours, we are on a 5 mile stretch of gravel road, and we're pretty much right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But we are the only residents on this road. There's
Well, see, I
others
thought that was,
about a mile away from us, but they're on crossroads that cross over this road.
yeah. See, our road's paved,
Oh,
but
really? Ours
there's a
isn't.
dirt road on the back side of the property, and they went to that dirt road and went through with the gas line on the dirt road instead of coming through the paved road. And like I said,
Huh?
they went five. They had to put in at least probably 5 miles extra pipe
Yeah,
just to
but there
go
was
up.
probably more people back there.
They wasn't but like two houses back there, maybe
Huh?
three, and they was about 8 on this road.
Huh?
That's
Hmm.
why I said I can't understand why they done that. I mean, it didn't make no sense.
Yeah,
That
no.
must have been
Got
PO
the
to one of the
land.
neighbors, because
Only
that's
thing
weird.
I'm figuring out, they done the land lease back there cheaper than what they did through here or something.
That could be.
Hmm.
That
Or they
could
had
very
to
well
put
be.
in so many miles of pipe anyway, so they had to go out and around to get the mileage in.
That's true too. That could very well be.
Yep. And I know a neighbor, after the old neighbors passed away and everything, and then some new neighbors bought the place and moved in. They was trying to get the cable company to run the cable on out here to them, and the cable company finally told them they would run it on out here for $10,000. That was
Oh,
several years ago. That was several
yeah.
years
That's
ago.
pretty much how the fiber optics are here, and I'm like, no, I ain't paying for it.
Well,
You have a good night, Urban Bucket.
Good
thank you,
night,
sis. Good
sis.
night.
We love you.
Nonsense.
When I had my business, my trucking business, I talked to them about putting in a business line and everything, phones, internet, the whole 9 yard TV. My nephew had his own company and called them and talked to him about it. And my brother-in-law called and talked to him about it. So there was three businesses right here, in
Yeah,
50-foot area where they could have brought in a line and hooked up three businesses at one time.
yeah.
And they wouldn't do that. And that's not counting the residents that was wanting it.
Huh?
They still wouldn't do it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Some of these companies, I don't get them. I don't know. I don't understand them.
And I mean, that was several years before that. I mean, back then at that time, if they'd have probably come up and told me, $1,000, $1,500 they would run it on out here, I'd have probably told them to do it.
Huh.
Huh.
I mean, I had my own trucking company and everything back in, and I made pretty decent money. I mean,
Yeah.
so, I mean, anything like that I wanted, I'd, I most time go get it.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. I went in debt for 3 pickups, one a year for 3 years.
Oh Lord, not me.
Yeah. And then blow the engine in my big truck.
Oh no.
Well, actually, that was the second one that I bought, wasn't it, when the engine went out? And then I bought the third truck. Actually, I bought 4. Because I bought one, and then a month later, I went in debt for another one. I bought a ton truck and just paid cash for it. It wasn't that, expensive. And then I bought that diesel dually in August, right at my birthday. And then in September, the house burnt down.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. So here I was with 3 pickup payments. Just had got the motor and stuff paid for that the kit and everything to build the engine in my truck. Just had got all that cleared up. Went in debt for the dually pickup, and then house burnt down. Had to go in debt for a new house.
Uh-oh.
Because I liked 2 rooms, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We liked 2 rooms in the other house, having it completely remodeled, and I was going to get homeowners.
Oh no.
Yeah. And I'm talking about new furniture in all the rooms that had been redone. The new carpet, new walls, paint, curtains, furniture, new big screen TV.
Huh.
Yeah.
That would be my luck. We only bought one new automobile, and that was a car. Back in '84, we bought a brand new Ford Escort. Plain base. I mean, it was stick shift. It didn't even have a radio, no air conditioning, nothing in it. It was just literally plain base. We lacked 6 months having it, or 6 payments having it paid off when a guy broke in our house and he bit Paul's nose off.
Oh,
Oh,
my
shit.
gosh.
Yeah. We lost our home. We could have lost the car. We got lucky. I'll tell you right now, Ford is one of the best as far as they will work with you. Because we called him and told him, that, we don't know when he'll be able to go back to work. That was in the summer, and he was not allowed to sweat. He couldn't sweat at all till that healed up.
Yeah.
And then all of it didn't take. They had to go, and after what did take healed up, they went in and took a wedge out of his ear and reconstructed his nose, made him a new nose.
Oh.
So he was out of work all that time. But now Ford was great. Hey, Josh.
Howdy, Joshua.
Yeah, hey, Josh.
Ford credit though, we didn't have the insurance on it to make the payments for us. They could have come and got that car with only 6 payments to go, and they could have made a profit off of it.
Oh, yeah.
But they just told us, send us the paperwork from the doctors, and we'll take whatever payments you can't make, and when he's able to go back to work, wait a month and call us. After he's been back to work for a month, you call us and let us know, and we'll take all the payments that you can't make, and we'll put them at the end of it. And they didn't charge us no extra or nothing for it.
Well, that was good.
Yeah.
But now we lost our home and everything else over it
Yeah.
That's
because the bank
Yeah.
wasn't so nice about it.
Yeah.
In
Well,
fact,
that's like when our house burnt down,
Mhm.
and I called
awesome.
the phone company or tire company.
He's broken.
Phone company, I think, and told them the house burnt down, that I needed to, put the house phone on hold until I could get a new one put in.
Mhm.
Their response was, well, where do you want this last bill sent? I said, do what? They said, where do you want this last bill sent? I said, listen, ma'am, my house burnt down, not my mailbox.
He did.
And hung up. I'm like, you stupid people. I
Yeah.
told you my house burnt down. Well,
They
where
are.
do you want the last bill sent to? Send
Yeah.
it to the mailbox. It didn't burn down.
Well, I'll tell you what, the bank, We found a buyer for the house 2 weeks before the foreclosure date on it. And I called the bank and told them we had a buyer for the house. They want to set up an appointment to come in and do all the financial stuff and make sure they can, buy it and everything. I said, we're just going to sell it for what we owe you all. So that way it's covered. And the lady was like, well, call me back in the morning. I called her back the next morning. You know what they done? They called a special meeting that night and foreclosed 2 weeks ahead of time on it.
Yep.
Oh my
Because we
God.
had a buyer for it. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, you shouldn't have never called them and told them. Just walked in there with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm gonna get out. I will talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.
Alrighty, DJ. Thank you for
All
just
righty. You
hanging
have a
out
good
with us.
night.
You too.
Bye, DJ.
Good night, bud.
Bye, Bob. Yeah.
Oh,
Me too. He's a good youngin'. Oh man, well, Joshua, what you been up to, bud? Unless he just gonna say howdy y'all and run on to somewhere else. Cause it's sure
Well, he
nobody.
could come up here and talk with us.
Hey, good.
I think
I
he's
don't.
done gone. Well, that's finally
It's,
showing one person back in here.
yeah, it's just one person watching, probably me.
Well, at least we're having fun.
Hey,
Hey, I thought some of the others were going to come back in.
I did too. Oh, he's still
They,
here.
was he?
Yeah, he said good night, DJ. He didn't hear us
Oh, yep.
asking any questions, but he'll tell DJ good night.
He just came to talk to DJ, not us.
Uh-huh. So y'all had y'all's meetup thing here, didn't you?
No.
No, yeah,
I thought that was last week.
no.
No, there was one in Missouri, down in the southern part of Missouri, trying to get stuff done.
Simply Jan, that's right. She was one
Yeah.
had a video out about
Yeah.
being at a meetup. Yeah, okay.
I was going to go to it, and then I ended up not getting to go, which is pretty sad. It was right here in Missouri, but
I
Things happen like that.
That's one thing I keep trying to figure out a place around here to have something like that. But I mean, how do you? A lot of the places around here charge you, to rent something. And how do you know how much room to rent?
you don't really. I mean, oh, I know that feeling. We got hay out in the field now that needs cut and put up.
I know
I,
today.
I we went down there and just mowed the pastures today, where we took the cows off and a lot of weeds and stuff trying to come up, and some of the grass had
Yeah.
seeded out, but a lot of it was still too short. She was fussing at me to start with, so why are we out here mowing this and we could move the cows back over here and let them eat it? I said, because they just eat the small stuff back down to the ground and it won't have a chance
Yeah.
to catch it.
Yeah, they won't eat the weeds.
Yeah, I said, we need to cut this big stuff down. That way it'll turn it into fertilizer to help the little stuff grow.
Yeah.
And I'd like
What we
that.
need, what we need is rain, but I guarantee you, as soon as we're ready to put up hay, then it'll start raining and it won't quit.
Yeah. I know that's what I was hoping to get to do on that one pasture out there this fall. Well, probably about August if Told her today, I said, well, if we mow it today, had to kill a lot of the weeds out maybe. If the weeds don't come back too bad, then maybe it'll be growed up enough about August to cut it for hay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we could easily get 3 cuttings off of the north field here, because the water table is so close to the surface
Yeah.
that even in a drought, we get buku. I mean, it's only like 6.5 acres, and we usually put up a good 400 bales of hay off of it.
Mm.
So,
I know that field I had out the road out here after the guy passed away and then his wife sold the place. The new couple that bought it told me to go ahead and fertilize it and keep on cutting it just like it was my own field and everything. And I was getting ready to put fertilizer and stuff on it. And went out there and cut the hay and got it raked and baled and went out there and got the rolls off of it and brought them home. And the next week he was out there with his riding mower mowing.
oh no.
Kept it mowed ever since. Like 5.5 acre
About
field
right.
with a riding mower
Yeah,
mowing.
it's about right.
Boy, I'm glad I didn't get that fertilizer put on.
I, oh, no doubt. Josh, are you not getting very much rain? Oh, you do round bales? No, we do square bales. I can't lift round bales.
Yeah, but that's where the little tractors come in with a spear. You can just pick them up and carry them.
Yeah,
That's what I've got to doing too is round bales.
most people do, but we still do the square bales. But uh,
Sometimes I wish I had still had some square bales, that, especially with them goats.
yeah. Actually, round bales are dangerous with goats, especially during kidding season because they'll put them babies inside one of those, and then if they start climbing on it and it collapses on it, you'll kill a baby that way.
Eh? Well, I ain't had no problem with them doing nothing like that.
They like playing on top of the bales, though.
Well, that was because I was trying the different ways of trying to fix it to where it would be in there and they could eat all the way around it. Usually, what I've done was set the gate on put a gate up and set the roll on the outside the gate to where they have to reach through and eat through the gate.
Yeah,
That way, I can keep it pushed up to it. I can look, make sure it ain't nothing in there as I push it up to them every day.
yeah.
But
We're supposed to be going to get a different tractor. We got a friend of ours down home where we used to live that gave us, I don't even know what kind of tractor it is. It's either a Farmall or an International, which I know Farmall was made by International. But
well,
it's a big tractor. And the problem we're having is we found a trailer big enough to haul it on, but they're saying this thing is really heavy and we need a trailer with brakes. And we ain't got one to get brakes. And to put brakes on ours is going to cost us about $600.
Oh my gosh.
yep.
So,
Ours we got
I don't.
Furlong don't have brakes either.
Well, she's talking about the trailer, April, not the tractor.
Oh.
yeah,
I
the
know.
trailer doesn't have brakes on it. And we got to go up and down some pretty steep hills.
Yeah. I've noticed around here on Facebook here a while back, there was a couple of people that was advertising hauling stuff like that. They had like a tow truck and a trailer, and they was, telling people, if you had something like that you need moving, we'll go haul it for you. I don't know what they would charge or nothing, but I just thought,
Yeah. I don't know.
And a lot of times, if you can find another farmer that's got some big equipment, usually they got trailers and stuff, and a lot of times they'll, especially catch it
Yeah.
out during all season. A lot of times you can get one of them to do something like that for you pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Or
I know
used to. I don't know about
we
anymore.
really need the bigger tractor because it's a bigger tractor with more power, and it has the lower gears. Where our what is that thing we got out here? 8N, I think, is what it is.
All forward.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, it's a good tractor,
Oh yeah, they were some tough old tractors.
but it doesn't run a baler right because you
Yeah.
can't. It doesn't have the low gears. It will make that baler buck and kick, and you end up breaking chains and everything else on it halfway through putting hay up.
Yeah.
Could tell you how
Yeah.
many times I've had to go out there with a pitchfork down the row of hay and throw it loose on the truck and haul it to the barn and throw it in the barn loose.
Yeah. Done that before too. I know when my brother bought that baler of his, Daddy had bought a little Dexter, Fordson Dexter tractor, and that now it was it had the low range, and now it worked
Uh,
great on that baler.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. See, your 8N doesn't have the low range on it.
yeah, I was trying to remember if we tried to run it behind that Ferguson 30 before we got to, but I can't remember if we for sure on that. But I do
Now,
know we ran behind that Dexter.
the south end of our north field, that all we've ever done with that field is bale it. The south end of it though has a lot of clover in it, and oh my lord, just cutting that stuff will spin that little 8N around. It'll spin you on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I bought that first round baler, and a friend of mine that had it told me it was a 5x5, and he was pulling it with a 270 Massey Ferguson or 275 Massey Ferguson or something like that. Anyway, it's about a 75, 80 horsepower tractor. Well, I only had a 45 horsepower tractor, and I was pulling that roller with it. Well, I built some things to put the hay in, and I built it, with a 5.5 foot opening. 5 foot roll should fit through a 5.5 foot opening, right?
Yeah.
No, it hit. And I'm standing there like, what in the world? And I got to measuring it, and it was 6 foot.
Ah.
The darn thing was a 6x6 roller. I never
Oh,
could
no.
get a roll completely full. About 5.5 foot round, about all that little 45 horsepower would do. And I'd be down in low gear, low range, holding her wide open to try to get that in it. And then
I
I bought
bet.
that other one when that friend of mine got sick, and he was auctioning off a lot of his stuff so he could get a lot of his bills paid off. He got cancer, and he had two little girls, and he was trying to get a lot of stuff paid off before he went into surgery and stuff.
Yeah.
And I went over there with no intention of buying his baler because I knew I didn't have the money. It was there at $1,500, nobody bidding on it. And I'm like, no. I said, I know that baler's worth probably 6. And I said there and run it up to 4. I was going to run it up to 4,000 and quit. And I did. I run it up to 4,000 and quit. Because everybody else quit when I said 4,000.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I had to call the wife up and tell her I need $5,000. Because I done bought some other stuff. She gave me a budget that I could have $1,000 when I went over there, so I spent my $1,000 and then bought the baler.
Yeah, we had a friend that moved to Tennessee and they sold off everything they had. And Lord, I was wishing I had $750 in cash because they sold a good hay conditioner. I said, I'd have gave anything to have that conditioner.
No doubt. They sold some other stuff over there that I wanted, but most of it went a little bit more than what I felt like I could afford at the time.
Well, his baler's been good.
Yeah, and that baler, it's really been a good one. And that little 45 horsepower, I have to watch baling with it because if I ain't careful, I'll have it too full. And it don't pull the tractor down like the other one did. So, I mean, it was.
Well, that's good.
It was a blessing, to get it and everything. Yeah. And then, like I said, bought that, and about a year and a half later, lost my hay fields.
Yep.
So it's been sitting at the neighbor's house for 2 years now. Well, one of them sitting out at the neighbor's in his barn, and the other's over here at Daddy's in a carport. So I got 2 round balers sitting here and ain't got no hay fields.
Oh no.
Yeah. I've been thinking about selling one of them. When I first bought the second one, I thought about going ahead and selling the first one, and then I thought, well, if something was to happen, at least I'd have a backup to be able to hook to and going out there, I knew
Yeah.
my tractor wasn't big enough, but I could still get it rolled up, and get it in the barn, or out here in the drive.
Yeah.
But I just never
Oh,
did sell.
we have fought every year with this hay, trying to get it in the barn because this tractor just isn't big enough to.
Yeah,
Well, it's not low geared enough to run the baler properly.
yeah,
It breaks knots and it just it bucks and kicks because it's not running at a normal speed, and it ends up breaking chains and everything else. And like I said, we
yeah,
inevitably end up not getting all the hay in and have to go pick it up with a pitchfork and haul it in the way it
yeah.
is.
This old barn up here, it was over 100 year old when Mom and Daddy bought the place here, and we've been here for over 40 years now.
Huh?
And when we first moved over here, we done some hay and stuff like that, and didn't even have a rake. Not even
Yeah,
because baler didn't even have a rake, and we had to
yeah,
go down there and see that little Allison tractor my brother bought. It had a sickle mower on it, so we'd mow it with it, and then go down there with pitchforks and rake it up into piles and throw it on the truck or trailer and haul it up here and then pitchfork it up into the barn and pack it
yeah,
down up there, walking in it to get it all packed in up there. So
yep,
yeah, I know all about that.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's a
But I
barrel
mean,
of fun.
yeah, the old people, that's the only way they had for years to get the hay up is to take it in
Yeah,
on sleds and pack it, and I was pitchfork it up in the barn and walk it down and pack it in there as tight as they could get it.
yep. Oh yeah. And some of them used to just go through the
Shake it in.
pitchforks and put it in round piles
Yeah,
so that it
got take
to where it would shed the water off of it.
yeah, they take sticks and put it up like a teepee,
Uh huh.
and then pile hay up all around the top, all the way down to the bottom.
Uh huh.
But
Oh
they
yeah.
done the stick so it have that air in the middle, so air could come up through the middle and keep it drier.
Yeah. Well, I keep it drier and keep it from catching on fire too.
Yeah, I,
I've seen a
I,
many of big round bales catch on fire here because people bale too soon. They'll
I,
be green and they'll have big old round bales out there, and the next thing you know, about fall, they start smoldering.
I had that horse farm rented, and God, brother hadn't had that little square baler long, year or two or something maybe, and I went out there on part of that horse farm and had shut part of the pastures off and went out there and cut it and everything, raked it up, and they started calling for rain. And I went out
Huh?
there 2 days in a row raking it around, thought, well, I got it dry enough. And I went out there and baled it. Well, got it baled, got it in the barn before it rained. Boy, I was tickled to death. About 2 or 3 days later, went in out there and Daddy's standing there going, something's getting hot in here. I said, what do you mean? He said, there's some hot hay in here. He said, I can smell hot hay. I said, hay we put up? I said, I can smell it. I said, but it don't smell hot to me. He said, hey, you got some hot hay. He said, you better be getting that stuff, checking it. Because they had actually 3 walls area there that you
Yeah.
pack it up in. And I had it packed in there as tight as I could get it too. I started
Yeah.
taking that stuff out and smoke started coming out.
Yeah, you got to be careful too doing that because it can, once the air does hit it,
Well, I started in there and
it'll blaze.
we got all the dry hay that was, that was dry. I took it to the back of the barn and stacked it back there in the wash pit and stuff. And all that other, I was breaking it open and scattering it in the barn because it was still raining.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
So, I couldn't take it back outside. So I had that stuff scattered in the barn, and I'd go out there about 3 times a day with a pitchfork and go through the barn, tossing that stuff around. And about 3 or 4 days later, it finally got dried out. And I parked the baler there at the front and started with the pitchfork back in the baler, baling it and packing it back in there.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that with some because, oh gosh, over half the field was still out there when it broke the main chain. And it was going to take days to get another chain. And even after he got the chain on, it had to be timed and everything else. So it was going to take way too long. And you could see the thunderheads coming in from the lakes. And yeah, we went and piled up 2 trucks with hay and hauled it to the barn, 2 trucks at a time. It was, I had our son driving one, and then Paul was driving the other one and throwing hay on it. But we got it in. But yeah, we took the baler and put it up to the barn later when it was dry enough, and just pitchforked it out of the barn into the baler.
Yep.
And then put it on the right side of the barn where it belonged. Which really, our barn isn't a barn. It's actually stables. It's just got one end that is for hay, and then you've got the stables and all that in the middle, and then there's another open end at the other end.
Well, this barn that was out here, that the people had it done show horses. It had the wash pit in it, and big office with the trophy room and the tack room and all that. And then, like I said, they had that big area to pack hay in. And then they also had the feed room when you first come in, and then the hay area. And then it had two or three stalls on each side, and then that big wash pit. Well, the office on the right-hand side when you first come in with the trophy shelves and all that stuff in there,
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was...
Yeah, this one, it was originally, the people that used to own it had horses.
Well, that's what this was.
We just put fence over the stalls going all the way up to the ceiling on it, to the rafters. And we used it for goats. We put the goats in there at night because we couldn't leave them outside because we've got too many mountain lions and coyotes. Packs of coyotes.
Before I got back into the cows and stuff, there was coyotes all around us. Well, the creek, where it runs down through the property, they would come in on the back side of the farm, and they would come up that creek.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you could hear them right down here in the woods. There was a mama, I think, raised a gang of babies down there. I never could find them, but at night, about the edge of dark, you hear them down there just yapping.
Yapping, yeah.
And after I put up all this electric fence around for the cows and stuff, I ain't heard them down there.
Huh. Probably because they know they can't get through it.
That's what I'm wondering, if I had it fenced in good enough to where that the coyotes didn't want to mess with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, we got a miniature donkey that we put in with our goats. But we still put the goats up at night in the barn.
Yeah.
We locked them in the stalls at night where nothing could get to them. But now he's fought off a mountain lion before. He's got the scars to prove it. He's got scars across his muzzle and down his legs, but he won.
I know we had when we had them horses, one that she had, we was going riding, and there's that dog run up out there under the horses. And I don't know, that horse is always so awkward acting. You didn't think he'd be able to put one foot in front of the other a lot of times when you're trying to get him to do things. By gosh, that dog run up behind him, and he sure centered him real good. He put that dog on the run.
Shoot,
Yeah.
when he kicked him, he
Yeah.
probably went 100 yards or better.
No, he didn't
before
go no
Yeah.
100 yards. That's 300 feet.
He went a long way.
Yeah,
I'll
but not
be
no
there.
300 feet. He probably
Yeah.
went about 15, 20 feet.
Now
You
we've had
decide.
mountain lions close, but they've never come back in the field after the donkey again.
I know one of
It's
our
like, nope,
neighbors
stay clear of him.
slipped in back here and put up a trail cam and a deer stand and all that stuff. Yeah, supposedly our other neighbor back there told him to just, to look at the fence line. His property run along that fence line. Well, it
Yeah.
cut my brother's property and then cut down and around. I never did finish up the extra part back there in the woods. So he thought that, since the fence didn't go down through there, it was free game. But when
Yeah.
I found it back there and everything, I went back there and got his tree stand, his camera, and all that stuff. And I actually walked
Yeah.
up and looked at the camera before I took it down because I knew it was one that had the cell signal because it had the antenna. And told him I
Yeah.
stood out and said, if you want your stuff back, you need to come and see me.
Yeah.
And then I took it down. Well, I give it a while. Thought maybe if he was around, he would come on and get it, but nobody ever come on, so I went ahead and took it down. But I was looking through the pictures, and you wouldn't believe the coyotes and stuff that was back there.
Oh yeah.
And the funny part, one of our cats would go back there and walk that log about every night before the coyotes come through.
Huh.
I mean, you could see raccoons,
Oh yeah.
groundhogs, deers. I mean, all kind of animals back there. And then hear that black cat walking down that log with them. And then, he'd get gone, and next thing you know, here'd be the coyotes, coming through.
Huh. Huh.
But that was,
Great
like
bet.
I said, on the outside of the fence line back there.
Now I'll tell you what, here, you know when the mountain lions are in because the coyotes are silent. When the mountain lions are not here, you'll hear the coyotes yapping out there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know.
they stay quiet when the mountain lions are around.
Yeah. Now, we ain't seen no mountain lions or hard-tailed none around here. But not saying that it couldn't be, but I hadn't heard nobody say nothing about them. But like I
Yeah.
said, for the last few years, you can hear every once in a while the coyotes off in the distance away from our property. Well, actually, the horse farm out beside of us, I know that one evening, them coyotes had to be in his pasture.
Yeah.
And he got up electric fence. But,
Huh.
he's got his strands on up higher off the ground than what I had mine.
Ah,
And
that could
then
be.
where the north side of our property and the south side of his run together, so both of our electric fences are together. And when I put mine up, I kind of dropped down and put my wires in between the height of his.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they ain't 6 inches between the two fences.
Yeah.
So it gives it that illusion that there's more wires there, too.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know if that's what's keeping them from coming in from that side. And
It
then
could
part of
be.
our neighbor part of theirs is woven wire. So
Yeah. Part of ours is woven, and part of it's just barbed wire. Now, people find it hard to believe we never had a problem keeping goats in with barbed wire.
boy, mine would just walk right through the barbed wire. And at times they walk right through my electric. And then
Mine never
again,
did.
if you
The only
try
time the only time I ever had a problem was when they had babies. The babies would be small enough to fit through it.
to,
But the bigger ones never tried. They never tried. People are like, I can't believe you have goats and they don't escape. They're just behind barbed wire. I'm like, yeah. Now, sheep? Oh, dear God, we couldn't keep them in. Them suckers would go right through it. They
I
didn't
know.
care.
brother down here between Daddy's and brother's property. It was all barbed wire. Them goats go down there. Where we had the electric, they wouldn't go through it. But there was a section down there that didn't have no electric, and they found out about it. They'd go down there, go through the barbed wire, and come up through my brother's. Daddy called me one day and said, "Your goats are down there in your brother's front yard." I go down there, get out down there. I can't see them nowhere. So I go back down here, and they're back down there where they're supposed to be. And then I was down there here a while back. I was working in my brother's pasture, getting ready to bring the cows around there. And goats seen me, so here they come down through there, in brother's pasture. They's out there just eating away. And next thing I look around, they's over in brother's front yard. And I thought, well, because that gate was open on that side, and I thought, well,
Yeah.
they get about when I holler, they'll come to me and they'll follow me back, And I'm there just working away, and I looked up, and they done went up the driveway towards the highway. I mean, that's 2/3 way up his driveway, and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh,
I had
no.
to hustle up through there and crawl through the fence and get in front of them and head them back down.
Yeah.
As soon as I got that fence done, I added another strand of electric around the bottom and got the electric turned on it, and I ain't seen them go back down there.
They know it's on now.
Yeah. I mean, I took the
Yep.
cows off there and everything, but the goats, I ain't seen them go back down there.
Huh. Well, they can be ornery critters, but
Yeah.
well, I guess I better get off of here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think I laid down about between 3 and 4 o'clock this morning.
It
Because I've been
says
up.
2 watching, but Josh probably got it on, but he's busy. He's trying
Yeah.
to get stuff fixed for baling. Hey.
Yep.
I had to cut my feet up for a few minutes. My legs are swelled.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I've been having problems with my left leg swelling up.
It's my
It's
right
kind
one.
It's my left one. Would you like it so you have matching legs?
No, I'll give you my swelled one. You give me your unswelled one.
Honey,
That
you
might
wouldn't want either one of mine.
Barbara talked like she's pretty short.
That'd be funny walking with me, especially her, one long leg, one short leg.
Uh-huh. The last time I checked to see how tall I was in high school. I was 4'11".
That's how tall my sister is.
I'm 5'10" and 3/4.
Yeah, we'd be a little gimpy.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, y'all have to buy a pair of high heel shoes.
One flat, one high heel.
I don't think even 6-inch heels wouldn't work for that.
No.
That would only get me to 5'5".
You got to get some of them Hollywood shoes.
See, if I got some of them, I'd be 4'11" too, because I'd break both my legs. All I have is my body left.
I don't know. When I was in high school, I wore 6-inch heels to school every day.
Oh my gosh, I ain't never worn because I've always been so tall. Because I used to inch.
Even well, up until just a few years ago, I wore 6-inch heels all the time, or I wore platforms.
What was that movie back in the day where that guy had them high-rise shoes with the goldfish? It was clear, the bottoms was clear, and it had goldfish in it.
Oh, they got them in tennis shoes now. But
Lord.
This was live goldfish. You could see them in there swimming around.
Yeah, you can put them in.
But them shoes looked like they had about a foot height to them.
Prince used to wear big old heels.
Yeah. Now my youngest daughter does. Or she does occasionally. She's got some boots that are like, the soles on them are like that, about 6 inches thick. And then they go up on the heel even more.
That's about the way that guy was on that. And he was a tall guy in that movie, he looked like.
Oh, I used to wear flip-flops even that were platforms.
Oh my
They were,
gosh.
oh yeah, big old platforms.
I remember somebody having some of them. It looked like it's about 4, 5, 6 inches thick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who was it? I remember somebody having them, but I can't remember who it was.
I still have a pair of them, but I don't wear them very often. I can't anymore. My the arthritis and stuff in my hips and knees won't let me anymore.
Uh, I
But
think
now
that's what's bothering me a lot here lately.
when I was in high school, I'd run track, and the only way I could run would be either in heels or flat
Yeah,
out barefoot. If you put a pair of tennis shoes on me, I'd be falling all over myself.
I could see Brenda out there running track and heels.
I could run in gravel or you name it, as long as I had heels on. But now, if I had to wear tennis shoes, I'd trip and fall all over myself.
You was talking about that, about being barefoot. I got playing tennis. I was about 16, 17 year old. And I had my tennis rackets and stuff in the car, and I run up with somebody, and they wanted to go play tennis. Well, we get over there at the school and everything, because you could just go there to school and play, you know. And I realized I didn't have no tennis shoes.
Oh no.
So I played tennis barefooted for about 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Later that evening, I wished I hadn't, because, boy, my feet got to burning and everything. I had wore every bit of the calluses off the bottom of my feet out there on that concrete.
Oh, I bet you did on concrete.
Yeah, it was on
Yeah,
concrete. I mean,
I
I
go
wore,
barefoot 90% of the time.
well,
If
I
I'm not
was.
going to town or something, I don't wear shoes.
Back in, I mean, I'd be out there in the tobacco fields priming tobacco. There's no junk. A pair of shorts on, no shoes, no shirt.
Huh?
Tobacco all day long like that, many a day.
Yeah,
And I mean, I never wore shoes that much. I mean, you know, be out there,
yeah,
especially in the spring of the year and stuff, when we was out there planting tobacco and, you know, replanting, hoeing, have a bad storm, everybody be out there trying to go through the field with their shoes on, trying to keep them. I'd be out there barefooted, just getting it across the tobacco
trucking
field.
away. Yep,
Yeah. I mean, I
yep,
didn't have to worry about losing my shoes in the mud.
yeah. See, I was like that if we were running track or something in school. I was either barefoot or in my heels because that was the only way I could do it. If I
Hey,
was barefoot, I'd be at the front of the line leading them. If they made me put tennis shoes on, I'd be at the back of the line tripping all over myself. It
yeah.
just didn't work.
No, I didn't. He's over there. We got a Miller in here.
Uh oh.
And he's just littling. They can be aggravating.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I better let you all go. It's what?
Yeah.
Almost 11 o'clock your time. I mean, no,
No,
it's
it
twelve
just turned
o'clock. It's
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Yeah, it's one
Yeah.
o'clock y'all's time. All right. Well, it's been good talking to y'all.
You too. And we'll try to do this again here for long.
Yep.
We're going to
Yeah,
try to get back into it when we quit doing this
yeah.
staying so
A
long.
lot of people have quit doing the lives, and I'm like, I miss all the lives. I never get to talk to anybody.
But that's one of the reasons we got to where, you know, it was hard to find a place to go live. I mean, you know, it was so many
Yeah,
people doing lives. And
yeah.
like you said here lately, I got to noticing, well, there ain't that many doing them. So, you know, and I
There's
told her, I said,
not.
we got to get started back doing something. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not very many doing them, but there's I don't know, a lot of the older, I think the older homesteaders, the ones that have been doing it for so many years, have kind of slacked off on even doing videos and stuff. It's like
Well, we
I
have.
think a lot of people are having burnout on it.
Well, you know, like with us, I mean, you know, we got monetized and everything, and, you know, thought the channel would keep growing, but it just, it was, you know, it got there for so long. There was so many homesteaders to people, I think, just got burned out on watching homesteaders.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think, and a lot of it's these new kids, and they don't know what they're doing. And people
Yeah.
are like, no.
Yeah, but they'll sit and watch them all day long.
I know. They'll sit and watch these young cutesy couples with kids, and I'm sitting there like, no, don't do that, don't do that.
Yeah.
And they're telling people to do it this way, and I'm like, oh no,
Mm,
Yeah, it's like
no, no,
somebody
no.
say their name, but their cow keeps getting mastitis, and all he wants to do is shoot medicine in their teeth.
the only thing you got to do is put the darn calf back on them and leave it.
Yeah, but if you milk it right, you ain't gonna have to worry about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but if you're
yeah.
going to try to
It's
share,
either put the calf on her or put the work into it, milking her dry every time you milk her. You got to
Yep.
get
well,
it all out.
well, what he was wanting to do was do what they call cash share, where you milk once a day and the calf gets it the rest of the day.
Yeah,
But he'd go out there and, milk about 10 o'clock of the mornings and put the calf on it. And then about 4 o'clock in the evening, he's taking the calf off.
why didn't you just leave the calf on it?
Well, I reckon he's wanting more milk. The less time the calf on there, the more the cow has time to build milk.
But
But
if you're
if
gonna
you
do
let,
that, you still have to milk her dry.
yeah,
Yep.
well, no, if you milk her down and then turn the calf loose, the calf can finish her up.
Well, it
But see,
can
a
if
lot
you're
of the old,
gonna leave the calf on her.
a lot of the old people, they'd go in the mornings, they'd milk the cow, put the calf on there to about 11, 12 o'clock, take the calf back off,
Uh-huh.
go that evening, milk the cow down, and which, most of them milk 3/4. They left
Yeah,
1/4 for the old ones, they'd milk 3/4, leave 1/4 for the calf.
yeah,
And, that way the calf would, finish at 1/4 and it would finish stripping out the other 3/4.
yeah,
And then, at night they'd leave the calf, 2 or 3 hours with the cow and they'd take it back off. But they done it, on a 12-hour base.
yeah,
Well, the bad
Well, like I
part,
said, he wanted to go out there, about 10 o'clock of the mornings and do his milking. And then he'd take the calf, put it on there, and then about 3 or 4 o'clock that evening, he was taking the calf back off away from the cow,
but
and
she
it
had
had to go
too many hours there of nothing.
nothing. He
and they
needed to,
had gobs of milk in the refrigerator. That's the
yeah,
bad part. So he didn't even
He,
need to be taking the calf off no way.
no, he should have just left the calf on her. Period.
yep, or took the calf off. If he wanted to only milk once today and he didn't want to get up and milk early in the mornings, go
Hmm.
out there in the mornings and take the calf off for 4 or 5 hours, then milk the cow that evening and put the calf back on.
Yeah, yeah,
And it wouldn't have had the mastitis problem.
yeah.
I mean, I milked theirs before till the calf was about 3 or 4 months old before they ever got to where they was drinking enough milk to keep the
But
cow dry.
if she has mastitis, he's got to get he's got to drain her.
Mm-hmm. But say he was injecting that medicine up the teat and massaging it in and then stripping it out. And
But
they
he
was
wasn't
told
getting he wasn't getting it all out, or she wouldn't have still had mastitis.
well, that was, what was causing her to have mastitis where he took the calf off so early in the evening and made her go for so many hours without being milked.
Without it, yeah. But
And
he
then when
wouldn't have to
he
he wouldn't
he
have to keep doctoring her
yeah,
if he just
he
I I don't know.
he
Me, I
would
would have
milk
just put the calf on her and left it on her. But
Yep.
he would milk till his hands got so tired, because she had so much milk. And then, he turned the calf loose in there and she had so much milk built up. Yeah, calf would drink like crazy for a little bit. But
for a
then,
little bit,
it was probably more than the calf wanted at one time.
yeah. Well, Vince, he was milking the cow, plus she was feeding the calf. She had built up excess.
She's trying to build up more to make sure that the calf got.
Uh-huh.
And when you're doing that, the cow will hold back milk for that calf.
Yeah.
She won't let you milk all that milk out.
Yeah.
One of the bad
Yeah.
reasons a lot of times it was, a lot of people that get mastitis is because the cow would be holding it back and they thought they had the cow milked out, and which they
Yeah.
didn't because the
Yeah.
cow was holding it. And they'd done took the calf completely away from the cow.
Yeah.
A lot of the dairies now, these big dairies, they go on to milking 3 and 4 times a day
Yeah.
because the more often you milk, the more the cow
Mhm.
will actually start giving because it ain't got to get feeling like it's over flooded in
Yeah.
between milkings.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know that dairy I was buying all them calves from, they had went to milking 3 times. Well, they actually milked 22 hours out of the day.
Yeah.
They took
Oh,
down an
got it.
hour of the mornings to clean up and an hour of evenings to clean up. The rest of the
Yeah.
time, the machine was running being milked. They
Yeah.
had as many cows. Time they went around 3 times a day,
Yeah. I
took
don't doubt that a
22 hours.
bit. I'd like to find a pair of Dexters, but I know too they're not cheap.
Yeah. That's what I started saying. The last I looked at Dexter's, they was just too high for no more cow than you got.
Ain't that what? What's his
They
name?
are, but I really want a smaller breed of cow, and I know
Well,
Dexters are pretty good.
yeah. I like my jerseys,
They're good cows. They are lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
and especially a Jersey Guernsey mix.
Oh yeah, that's
Hmm.
I don't know what it is about that Jersey Guernsey, but most of them are they just laid back, want to be
Well, you
ready.
kind of get a mix of the two, and they come out
Yeah,
really good.
yeah, and they have real good milk.
Uh
Most
huh.
of your Guernseys is A2 automatically, so that's the best digestive milk you can get.
Yeah.
So when you got it mixed, you got a whole lot better chance of it being A2. And then
Yeah.
if you want to use them for meat, I would rather have them than I had an Angus.
yep.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
And I was
the
all
Jersey.
pro Angus.
Yeah, she was
before.
always Angus, 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 and I said no Jersey. She just looked at me like I was stupid till we had a Jersey fixed.
Our last Jersey, Brenda, the steaks looked so much like Wagyu, where it had so much marbling in it, and you ain't even got
Their
a
fat's
tender.
Oh,
yellow.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yellow fat in them,
Yeah, it's
Huh.
yellow.
but
Huh.
it's got a sweeter taste to it,
Yep.
and it's a lot of
I bet
Anguses.
the meat's a lot more tender too.
Yeah,
You ain't got to tenderize no steak.
but the
Yeah.
Angus a lot of times is just plumb greasy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jersey and Guernsey like that, they're more of a leaner. They
Yeah.
got enough fat to fry the meat, to fry
Well, they're
burgers,
really
but
not considered by most to be a meat cow. They're a milk cow.
Jersey is a dual purpose cow.
Yeah.
I
Most
mean,
people look at them like they're just a milk cow, though. They
yeah,
don't even consider.
anymore, but yeah, you go back 50 years ago,
Hmm.
Jersey was a dual purpose cow.
That was their
Yeah.
cow with the twist back in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just be honest, I'd rather have a Holstein cow than I had an Angus.
Huh.
I don't like fatty meat.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
like that. I
leaner.
don't get me wrong. I like some fat because I like to be able to render it down. But uh, if there's going to be a lot of fat there, I prefer it to be marbled
Yeah,
in the meat. I don't want like a big hunk of fat going around the outside of a roast.
yeah. Well, that's what I sort of say. Like on hamburger, I want just enough fat in it
Look how bad my legs
for
are
it
swelling.
to
To be
have just
moist.
grease to cook itself. I
Yeah.
mean, I fry a pound of hamburger, I don't want half a pan of grease left.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know on some of the Anguses that we've had before, I mean, that's about the way it looked when you got done. You'd have about a half a pan of grease.
Oh yeah.
I've actually
But
seen
yet they want to charge high dollar for it.
yeah, I've actually seen Mama when she was frying hamburgers and stuff actually stop and pour grease out of the pan
Uh-huh.
and start back frying the hamburgers because the pan was getting too
Yeah.
full of grease.
Yeah.
But I
Now,
mean,
when I'm going to fry hamburgers, I only want enough grease in it that once it starts cooking, it'll grease the pan itself.
yeah,
But when I cook hamburgers, I start out with a little bit of water in the bottom of that pan, just
I
so they
can't
don't burn.
remember if I've done that or not. I think Mama used to, according to the meat. But now Mama was bad to cook in cast iron, so she always kept them things seasoned up good. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
she didn't really have to worry about it. But a lot of times she would either put a little grease, bacon grease or something, or have her
Yeah.
spray can and she'd spray it down.
Yeah.
But most time, you just throw that skillet out there and throw the meat in it, and it
Yeah.
do its own thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, I have seen her, patty out 10 pound of hamburger, when we're cooking out and stuff. So
Yeah. That's a lot of work.
yeah, but that was one thing about Mama. She loved to cook. It didn't matter what it was. She loved to cook. And
I love to cook. I just don't like to clean up afterwards.
but
That's
that
my
Mama
problem.
didn't say a whole lot about the cleanup. But now I know she would. She'd stand in there and prep on stuff all day long.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, and
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I mean, she actually did. She enjoyed it, prepping it, doing all the prep work and everything on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like cooking, and I don't mind the prep work at all. It's just the cleanup afterwards. It's like, come on, people. Y'all enjoyed this food. Come help clean up this mess.
Oh, that's one of the reasons I like cooking out on the grill and stuff because you can eliminate a lot of the cleanup. Lay a piece of foil down on the grill when you get done. Just wad it up and throw it in the trash.
Yeah. Yeah. I got one of those griddles. Um, oh gosh, Josh has one at Skinner Farms. He put a few videos
Black,
up on his.
Blackstone.
Yeah, yeah, it's a Blackstone. Mine's not a Blackstone though. I forgot what brand name mine is, but it's a good one. It's a 4 burner one, and
Yeah,
it's got the lid and everything for it.
yeah,
Because that was one thing I said, I gotta have that lid. I'm not setting one of those out and letting it rain on it
yep.
because it'll rust to pieces in no time.
Oh yeah. I'd love to have one of them. Now I got an
I
electric,
I
but
got one back in the fall when they started marking them down. I went into we have this store. It's called Menards,
yeah, I've heard of them. We don't. I think
and
there's some around, but not really close.
yeah, they're more of a centralized company. There's like several of them around here. Um,
That's what Shem Rock
Yeah.
looked at.
now a lot
But
of people have rural ones, but I don't know how they are on that stuff. I have to travel a ways to get to Rural King. It's about I think the closest one's about 3 hours away.
Well, now we supposed to have one up here in Virginia, which is probably about an hour and a half away from us. I ain't never been to it, so I don't know exactly where it's at. But we got a Tractor Supply, so
We have
20.
Tractor Supply, but Lord, they're high on everything.
Yeah. Now I've noticed up there here a while back. I was up there getting something, and they had one back there, and it wasn't that badly priced for what it was and
Oh,
everything. I mean,
yeah.
I think it was marked down to $179.
Oh no, that's not bad at all.
No, and I mean it had the lid on it now. And
Yeah.
then I was back up there, and I think it might have been just a 2 burner. I'm not sure, but I was
I'll
back
tell you
up there.
right now, if you get one, get the 4 burner.
Well, they had the 4 burner up
Pay
there,
the
but
pay the extra because it's worth it.
it was like
It heats
$400 and some
it
dollars.
heats it heats more evenly. I think I gave like, I want to say 269 or 279 for mine. But like I said, I got it back in last fall when they were clearancing
Yeah.
out all that stuff. So, and that's still a good bit of money, but it's well worth it. And it's a whole lot
Yeah.
cheaper than what they normally run.
I know here lately, I just been having
Oh gosh, the
the
first
bad.
thing I the first thing I cooked on ours was breakfast.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
but I know.
Oh my gosh, you can lay a whole pound of bacon out on that dude and
Yeah,
fry it up in no time.
that electric one. That's one of the things I used to love about fixing bacon and stuff on it.
Uh huh.
You could lay the bacon out there, or throw
Uh huh.
all your hamburger patties out, or not hamburger, but sausage patties out
Sausage
there.
patties, yeah.
As soon
Oh
as they
yeah.
get
You
getting
can
about,
fix you can fix a couple dozen pancakes in no time.
yeah, that's what I started to say. As soon as the sausage started pretty much getting done, you pile it up to one end and
Mm-hmm.
have room to put out 3 or 4 pancakes at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. The one I've got, you could probably easily put probably at least a dozen good sized pancakes on there.
Yeah,
At
but I'm just
least.
talking about a little electric,
Yeah. No, this one here, it's a big one.
Yeah,
It's a big one. Lord, I fried up bacon. I made pancakes, scrambled. Oh God, I probably scrambled 2 dozen eggs on that thing at one time.
that's what I started to say a while ago. That little, and I mean, half a dozen to a dozen eggs wasn't nothing on it.
Yeah, hash browns. I mean, it was
Oh
just,
God, yeah,
it was all cooking at one time, and it was like, all right, this
yeah,
is how you do this. But yeah,
uh-huh.
they'd be great for burgers and stuff too.
Oh yeah,
I need to make a video on mine doing deer meat on it. Teriyaki deer with peppers and onions. Oh my
Yeah, I
God,
bet.
you talk about good eating. Oh yeah, it's better than any beef you'll get in any Chinese restaurant.
yeah. I
Oh
know I
yeah.
fixed a deer shoulder one year, and I mean, Mama coached me through most of it, what to do and how to get it started. But I had my own idea what I wanted to do. I took that shoulder, and about every 2 inches, I take the knife and split it plumb to the bone.
Yeah.
And I took bacon
Yeah,
and
we're
put,
still on here, Stevie. We're talking
yeah,
food.
yep. But I took bacon and put in each one of them slices.
Ooh, that would be good.
And then I drizzled, I basted it with brown sugar, and then I took and drizzled honey over it, put pineapples on it,
Uh
and
huh.
wrapped it, put it on the grill and cooked it for several hours. I forget how many hours it was. But we was going to have a family get-together thing, and I fixed that to take.
Yeah.
I got there before my brother did and took it in. And when I said something about that I fixed it, he just politely told me I was a liar. He knew better, that Mama fixed that. I said, no, she did not. And he said, don't even stand there and try to lie to me about it. He said, you cannot convince me that Mama didn't make this. Mama looked at him and said, I didn't make it. He looked at Mama and said, bullshit, turned around and walked off.
Oh no. Uh,
But there was none of that deer shoulder left.
you just made it back from the pier. Were you
Yeah,
fishing?
they're down at the beach.
Oh, I thought maybe
Yeah,
they were fishing.
well, they was out on the pier fishing.
Aha.
But now Stevie just went on a boat trip, I think, a month or two ago fishing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some
Awesome.
people got it made.
Apparently. I
Oh,
don't. I'm stuck in the middle of the country. I mean, we got a big old lake out here, but we
well,
got a lake at the Ozarks and Truman Lake.
Stevie don't live far from me.
Oh, really?
No, Stevie's my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just sold him one of our goats, and he just put in a big old roll of hay and took off to the beach. Told the goats and the cows they could just have at it.
Hey, there you go.
He said
There
he's
should be
going
enough
back in
great stuff out
September
to eat
and
right now
October.
anyway. Going back in September and October. Oh, gosh. October here, spoonbill season.
Yeah, but he's going back to the beach in them months.
Probably for fishing.
Yeah, more than likely.
I would love just once to be able to go ocean fishing.
I
Me
went one
too.
time.
I ain't never been. Stevie's supposed to take me.
I
Me
went
neither.
down in Florida and went out on the pier down there in Florida and fished.
Huh?
And I caught the prettiest little blue and yellow fish you ever seen in your
Target
life.
fish? Huh?
I was gonna try to get me some salt water up and bring that thing home, but I didn't know what would happen if I'd have come back up the road with it. I got pulled
Yeah.
over in that blue fish in the truck. I might would have
Oh,
been
you're
in all kind of
weird.
trouble.
Yeah.
Weirdo we pull over
Mm.
on the
But it
day
was
we fished.
blue and yellow. That was a pretty fish.
That's a Dorothy.
I don't know if it
Yeah.
was a Dorothy or Sam or what.
Yeah, I forget what they're called, but it's the same kind of fish as Dorothy.
You don't
Hey.
remember Finding Nemo and Dorothy, the one that couldn't remember
Mhm.
nothing? She was blue and yellow.
You know, we have a town here, not very far from us, that's that's got that name.
Really?
Yeah, Nemo, Missouri.
That's me.
Yep. He said you get chartered for 8 hours if you go to the coast.
Yeah, but what's it cost? And is it
I,
going to be worth it? Do you get enough fish to to cover that cost?
I was afraid to ask. Now, back
Yeah.
in 2006, I was pulling a safety clean trailer for NASCAR. And the last race was at Homestead, Florida. And
Huh.
the last race I had went to was in Fort Worth, Texas. I left Fort Worth. The races was going on out to the West Coast for the next 2 weeks. I think Arizona and then California or something like that. So anyway, I go leave to come on home because I didn't have to go out there. They had another trailer out there that went out there. Well, when I left Texas coming home, clutch come out of my truck. So
Oh, no.
I make it on home with the transmission or the clutch out, put it in the shop, pull the transmission, put in a new clutch and everything, and took off and was a couple of days ahead of time going on to Florida just to be bopping along. Or I left a day ahead of time going down there. Well, the guy that was over it passed me, and he called me. He said, since you running early, said, do you mind stopping somewheres and having the trailer wash, go through one of them truck washes, I said, no, ain't no problem. He said, if you'll do it, he said, I'll pay you, So I pulled in the truck stop, had the truck, trailer all washed. And went on down, and I got, I don't know, about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from the track, and the phone started ringing. He said, since you running early, he said, what would you charge me to bring that trailer on down here to the Key West for this fishing tournament? Because they had at the end of the year, they'd had a fishing tournament scheduled for NASCAR and the NFL. And I told him, I said, whatever the company usually charge, I said, mileage and stuff, probably, He said, well, if you'll bring it on down here, he said, I'll pay the mileage and stuff. And he said, you won't have no expense while you're down here. He said, everything will be taken care of. He said, only bad thing is, he said, I can't get your room. Every motel is booked.
Oh, no.
He said, there ain't no rooms down there. He said, now, if you want to come back out of the Keys down there and rent a room, he said, I'll pay for that. And I was like, I'm used to sleeping in the tent or the truck when I'm out there on the road with it anyway. I said,
Yeah.
I said, I ain't got no problem with just camping out in the truck and he told me, he said, or you can stay in the trailer at night. He said, he said, once everybody leaves, he said, you can have that mobile office. Had a big couch in there and everything. He said, you can go in there and sleep and everything if you want to. And I said, all right. So I just camped out down there.
Yeah.
And, they all went out fishing and everything, but I got to meeting a lot of the people.
NFL players.
Yeah, them NFL players. I was standing down there, and you've heard of Shaq, ain't you?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him on TV, how big he looks?
Yeah.
I don't think that does justice. I'm 6'2", and I had to look straight up at the guy. He looked like a witch.
I'd probably be up to his kneecaps.
Yeah.
You get to hold his big toe.
Yeah.
I put it like this. He could have walked up to me and laid his elbow on top of my head, and his arm wouldn't have been up to his shoulder probably.
Tell her about his ankle.
Yeah, and he come down to his ankles just looked like toothpicks. Yeah. Or he was so big and everything, I reckon.
Makes you wonder how they were able to hold him up.
Yeah. He walked up there talking and everything. I looked up there at him. I said, do me a favor. And he said, what? I said, if I start pissing you off, let me know beforehand. He looked at me just as funny and said, do what? I said, my God, you hit me in the top of the head. You drive me 3 foot in the ground.
Yeah, probably. Whether he meant to or not.
Oh.
Yep.
He said if you and 3 others split it, you could get it for about $100 to roughly $140 a piece. And you can do 4 to 6 hours too. That don't sound too bad.
No, not if I could get my money back in fish.
Yeah.
Now, when you go places like that out of state, you have to pay for an out of state permit, don't you?
I'm not sure on that on the fish boats. I'm thinking somebody told me that a lot of them fish boats had some kind of charter member.
Already covered.
Yeah, so when you get on the boat, you're covered.
Oh,
now, if you go to the pier, like down there in Florida, you can buy a day pass to fish off of the pier.
Oh, really?
Yep, that's what we done that day. We bought a day pass and just went out there and fished off the pier. And I caught that one fish.
I'm not sure what just happened to my computer.
Oh, no.
I've got 2 screens up here of me. And I didn't touch nothing. There's a second screen.
Same way here in North Carolina.
South Carolina.
No, he didn't say North Carolina, dear. I didn't say he went to Myrtle Beach. He just said he was going to the beach.
Oh,
I know in Missouri you'll pay dearly to fish if you're out of state.
A lot of areas like that, especially freshwater fishing, it's like a different world. You can get in all kinds of trouble. I know. I think it was my cousin went up into Virginia or somewhere up in there. Was going to do fishing. He stopped and got his license. He thought he was covered.
Uh-huh.
Well, he got up there and he was trout fishing and everything and caught a couple of fish. Game warden walked up, caught him, and gave him a heck of a fine.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the fish that he was catching wasn't covered under the license. And he actually told the people at the place where he was going fishing and what kind of fish he was wanting to catch. And evidently they didn't give him the right permits.
Yeah, Stevie, that's pretty much how it is here, too. You will pay double the amount.
Yeah.
And no, some fish you have to get a book too on the state you're in and what fish are in season and what's not,
Yep.
because there is a season on fish here just like there is on like deer or whatever. There's only certain seasons.
Yeah.
That's like the spoonbill, or some people call them paddlefish. Uh, the season on them is in March and in October.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you catch one out of season, not knowing any better, you get caught by a game warden and you're out of state. You're gonna you'll pay
Well,
dearly for it.
there was one guy that was telling me about doing something like that. They was fishing, but they was fishing. I mean, the bait and everything he was using was for the type of fish that was in season.
Yeah.
Well, he caught a fish that was out of season and reeled it in, and the game warden seen him and gave him a ticket for it for catching that fish out of season, even though he unhooked it and put it back in the water. He still got a ticket for catching that fish out of season.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, how can you control what fish?
Trout fishing is a really, there's so many rules and regulations on trout fishing there.
Yeah.
It's next to impossible.
Well, that's what my cousin went up there doing, was trout fishing when he got in all that trouble.
Yeah.
And he had supposed to have all the permits, license, and everything to do it. But it was something, I can't remember if it was a certain type of fish, trout that he caught that wasn't allowed to be caught. And
Yeah.
it might have been the same thing. It might have been that he was going to release it, but the game warden caught him before he could get it off the hook.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and
yeah.
ain't. I mean, I can understand, hunt deer season. You go out here before deer season and shoot a deer. That's plainly that you done it on your own.
Yeah.
But when you throw a hook out there in the water and you can't see what's biting it,
you don't know what's going to bite it.
Yep, that's not your fault. And if you unhook it and release it, they should not be able to get you. Now, if you unhook it and put it on a stringer or in a bucket, then yeah, get them.
Yeah. Yeah, but they will.
Yeah.
Especially if they know you're an out-of-stater.
Yeah.
Because they know, for starters, you're not going to show up for court to fight it. You're just going to pay that fine, mail it in or whatever, and pay the fine and go on. Because it'll cost you more to come back and go to court to fight it. They know that.
I got a ticket in Virginia one time. I forget what it was, but the cop told me, said, ain't nothing to worry about, So I didn't worry about it, A few months later, I got a letter in the mail telling me to turn my license into Virginia.
Oh, no.
So I get on the phone and call them up and ask them, what was going on. And they said, you failed to appear in court. I said, I didn't have a court date. Yeah, you did. I said, no, I didn't. They said, it was plainly on your ticket. And I said, I'll bring you and show you my ticket. There's no court date on my ticket. The cop plainly told me, said, this is a ticket, but you ain't got to worry about it. Said, it ain't nothing to it. There ain't no fine or nothing. I'm like,
so it was like a warning.
Yeah, kind of like a warning, but, about what the cop told me. Well, the courthouse said it wouldn't. So I wound up getting in my car and driving the whip for Virginia and going to court and walked in there in front of the judge with my ticket and showed him. I said, there's no place on here for a fine amount, a court date, nothing. I said, so I ain't accepting this. They looked at me and told me, said, you will accept it and you will pay a fine. I said, no, I will appeal it and take it to a higher court. I said, but I ain't accepting it and I ain't paying it. And I don't know, that judge sat there and he looked at me and he said, he got, finally took the ticket and really looked at it and he said, there ain't nothing on here, are there? And I said, no. I said, so how was I supposed to know when to come to court? Y'all didn't send me no paper saying I need to come to court. Y'all didn't send me no paper saying I had a fine.
Yeah.
I think the fine was $10 to start with if I'd went and paid it without going to court. and they was going to take my license and charge me several $100s for, but that judge
Yeah.
throwed it all out of court. He told me, he said, don't even worry about the $10. He said, you was in the right. Said, there's nothing here to tell you. He said, you are in the right. After telling me to start with, I would pay it or, go to jail. And I told him, I said, no, I'll appeal it and take it to higher court. That's when he finally looked at it and said, no, I said, you're right. I said, there ain't nothing here. And he throwed it out of court.
That was good.
Yeah.
But I think I'd have got it in writing.
Well, I did. I had to go into the magistrate's office and all that to get a paper showing that everything's been dismissed.
Yeah.
Because, I was the same way, when he told me that, I said, can I get a paper on this? So, if it comes up again later, I said, I need something to say, and hey, this was dismissed. The judge said, yes, go into the clerk of court and tell him, you need the paper showing where I dismissed it.
Yeah.
Told me, said, about 30 minutes, go in there and they'll give you a paper.
I've only gotten one ticket in my life, and that was for not wearing a seatbelt.
I'll never forget that cop. When they first come out with that law, when they first come out with it, they didn't force it on truckers.
Yeah.
It was just all in the car.
Yeah, anything over a certain weight, they didn't enforce it.
Well, then when they finally started enforcing it, I forget if I was South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, or somewhere was going down through there. And I was really bebopping along a little bit too fast, And I met that cop, and I looked down at the speedometer, and I'm like, oh, crap, when I seen his brake lights come on. Because I was tipping about 9-10 mile an hour over the speed limit.
Just enough for him to get you.
Yeah. He turned around, he come up through there, and he walked up beside the truck. And I was in the cowboy truck, and he climbed up on the tire there a little bit, and he was talking to me and asked me, what my big hurry was and everything. I told him, I said, well, it wasn't really in that big a hurry, I said, but I just sitting here just got to not paying attention and got a little bit too fast. He said, yeah. He said, I know you're speeding a little bit. And I said, yeah, I ain't going to lie about it. I said, when I seen you, I looked down at the speedometer and I said, I was speeding. And he said, well, the mainest thing I pulled you over, he said, do you have your seatbelt on? I said, well, I did till you pulled me over. And he said, you want to rephrase that? And I said,
he done got you on camera.
No, he said, look out your door here before you say anything else. I looked out the door, and he's standing there holding my seatbelt. It was dangling outside the truck. I said, well, I don't guess there's no use me trying to say I did, is it? He said, no. He said, at least get it back in your truck. He said, so don't leave it out here flopping around. But he was a nice fella, he stood there and talked to me a few minutes, told me to go home.
Huh, that's good.
Hey.
I got stopped one time in a roadblock. They were stopping everybody. And you know what's weird? I said, because they just motioned for me to pull over to the side of the road. It was only older automobiles that they were pulling over. New ones, they'd motion them to go on.
I had a DOT to pull me over in Indiana one night. He said, and I was speeding that night too. That was when they had the speed limit for trucks at 55 and the cars at 65.
Yeah.
And you sit there in all this traffic and get so darn sleepy you can't hardly stand it,
Yeah.
And I sat there and I got to, I wasn't paying attention. I got to easing along there with the cars, And I met him, and he hit his brakes, come across the medium. I'm like, oh, okay. He come up there and jumped up on the side of the truck, and he looked like he was about 18-year-old.
Oh, Lord.
Shit. I was like, here he is just out of DOT school,
Yep.
He looked at me and he said, why you driving so fast? I said, well, I'll just be honest. I said, I was getting tired. And I wasn't paying enough attention that I got speeding. I said, I just got to running along with the traffic. I said, I wasn't thinking. I said, but I just got to running with the traffic. I said, I ain't used to the states. I said, the states I live and everything, they don't have a split speed limit for trucks and cars. They all the same.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm used to really just sitting there running along with the traffic. And I said, that's what I got to doing. I said, where I was sitting there tired, all this traffic passing me. I said, it's making me even tireder. And I just forgotten was running with the traffic. And I I was talking real nice to him, saying yes sir, no sir. Anyway, he
Yeah.
looked at me. He said, I need to do some DOT inspection. Said, do you mind? Said, because this looks like an older truck. And I said, yeah. I said, this is an older truck. It's a '76 model. I said, so it's 20-some-year old at the time. He said, well, do you mind if I do a what would they call Class 1 inspection on it? And I said, no, sir. I said, that's my life sitting up there behind that steering wheel, and I'm only human. I said, I might have missed something that needs to be fixed. He looked at me just funny and said, do what? I said, when I do my inspections, I said, I could have missed something. I said, I'm only human. I said, I said, I could have missed something and needs to be fixed, to where it be safe. I said, not only is my life in danger, but everybody around me is in danger.
Yeah.
They come under the truck, check my brakes and stuff, and sign me up as a Class 1 DOT inspection and passed me on it and sent it in. Well, the company I was leased on to at the time gave us $25 if we passed that Class 1 DOT inspection. So I got a $25. Well, they called it a steak dinner card.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I got that card for passing that inspection. And then he gave me a warning ticket for exceeding the speed limit.
Yeah. These cops, though, they were just pulling people over because they figure older automobiles, you either have just liability on it or no insurance. Newer cars, people are going to have them insured because they have full coverage on newer automobiles. So they were just sending them on down the road.
Well, yeah, that used to be true, but I wouldn't say that anymore with a group of people that we got coming on now.
Oh, I know.
They go buy a brand new car, get the insurance on it for 1 month, and then won't pay it no more.
Yeah.
Because they can buy it and can't even afford the insurance payment, let alone the car payment.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's what they were doing that day.
Yeah.
But the only thing they could get me for was not wearing a seatbelt, so I got a $10 fine for not wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah.
It's the only ticket I've ever gotten, though.
I don't know what the tickets I've had. That one I thought I was gone for life for, though.
Uh-oh.
I had one that was manslaughter by motor vehicle.
Ooh.
And the guy hit me.
Okay.
Yeah. Ran into the side of me. He was having a massive heart attack. Never slowed down.
Well, how did they put that then as you?
I pulled out of the parking lot into the highway. And when I pulled out, it was just about the edge of, just starting to get dark. Had all my lights on. So, I pulled up there. There's nothing to come in, no lights or nothing. So I started pulling out. Well, by the time I started out, the car come over the top of the hill.
Uh-oh.
And a minute or two later, another big truck come over the hill behind him.
Oh, Lord.
And the car never touched his brake lights or touched his brakes. But when he come by the cab of my truck, I seen a duffel bag come out the window. The cop and stuff said that it come out the back window on impact. But that duffel bag come out of his car before. But they said he was having a massive heart attack. We figured he was digging in his bag for his heart medicine.
Oh, that could be. Yeah.
And the truck behind him told him, because now he He was a Volkswagen representative, and it was the first Volkswagen Golf car that was in the United States.
Ooh.
And plus, he was 6 months past his visa. He wasn't even supposed to still been in the United States.
Huh.
But anyway, the trucker behind him told him that he passed him back up the road there just a little ways. And he said, I'll put it to you like this. He said, I won't tell you that I was speeding. He said, but he was speeding. He said, because I was doing every bit of the speed limit
Yeah.
when he passed me. And he said, and then we come up over the hill. And he said, when I come over the hill, said I'd seen him coming out in the road, already out in the road. And he said the other guy never hit his brakes or nothing. Said the brake lights didn't come on till he went under the trailer.
Huh.
And he went completely under the trailer and hit the tires on the other side of the flatbed trailer and knocked the axle back about an inch on the other side of the trailer.
Huh.
So he was, that reconstruction crew talked like he was in that season of 80 Mile an Hour. I had one black mark that the state trooper tried to say that he hit his brakes and slid. But
He had a
they
thing
proved,
against your uncle.
well, yeah, he had a thing against my uncle because he wrote my uncle's name down on every
Uh-huh.
ticket.
Yep.
But
That
me and
happens.
the only thing difference in their name was our first name. We
Yeah.
had the same middle name, same last name. And he wrote my
Yeah.
uncle's name on every piece of paper that he signed or put my name on. He wrote my uncle's name.
Huh. Yeah.
But,
They do that because my son was in a car wreck. It was at a stoplight, a four-way stoplight. And they were going, he was the last one in line, but he was following through on a yellow. And this woman on the other side jumped the gun and broadsided him. And the cop was a guy he went to school with, and they didn't like each other in school. So the cop made it both of them's fault. Even though she's the one that jumped the gun, she went on a red light,
yeah.
broadsided him, but he still made it both of them's fault. But the doctor at the hospital, because they took both of them to the hospital, that was a stupid hospital. They put them both in the same room in the ER. This old woman who was on Valium and just wailing, she was in pain, and my son had he dislocated his shoulder in the wreck. The seatbelt dislocated his shoulder. He was wearing a seatbelt, but they came in and released him from the hospital, and the doctor looked at us and said, "But don't leave yet." He went back out, and a few minutes later, he come back in with that woman's chart, and he looked at her and he told her, he said, "There ain't a thing wrong with you," in front of us, and told her, "Go home." But she was on Valium, and she was like, she was just wailing.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have been driving.
No,
Nope.
not on Valium.
We even stood there and listened to the cop ask him at the desk in the emergency room if she was on any medication that could hinder her driving. And they still made it both of them's fault, not just hers. Because he didn't like my son.
I'd have took that in the court.
Well, he ended up not being a cop there for very long.
I was going down through Winston one day, and they had made a rule down there that no truckers in the left-hand lane. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just before you get into Winston, and exit coming down through there. There was a whole line of vehicles coming down that exit ramp.
Oh, Lord.
I moved over into the left-hand lane. Traffic come off the exit ramp was passing me on the right-hand side. Cop sitting at the next exit down there on the other side of the road on the exit ramp, looking and watching. Well, he come across, pulled me over. Told me I was in the wrong because I was in the left-hand lane. I said, well, I said, when I went through my classes, or no, when I went and done my test and stuff to get my CDL license, it plainly states if you're on a 4-lane divided highway and there's no traffic in the left-hand lane and there's traffic coming down the exit ramp, for you to move over into the left-hand lane to give right away for the traffic to get on. And I said, traffic passed me on the right-hand side, which is illegal. He said, I'm cured. You was speeding, you getting a ticket.
Yep.
I said, all right. So I went to the court. Told the judge, what was said, everything. Judge looked at me and said, well, said, it don't matter. Said, I know you been speeding before, so that, this will just count for one of the times you got by. I said, I don't think so. He said, what do you mean? I said, I think I'm going to appeal this case and take it to a higher court.
Mm-hmm.
He looked at me and said, do what? And I said, yeah. I said, you don't do. I said, this ain't right. I said, furthermore, I hadn't got into Winston at the area where no trucks, or the sign that says no trucks in the left-hand lane. I said, the cop plainly told me if I hadn't got over in the left-hand lane, he wouldn't have pulled me over. I said, so how was I speeding when all the traffic that I got over in the left-hand lane for, to be courteous, was passing me on the right-hand side? And I said, and if you look in the handbook, it says do not pass on the right-hand side. I said, so they was in the wrong for doing that. I said, but y'all want to write me a ticket because I'm a truck driver and y'all don't like truck drivers, and you think I'm going to sit here and take it? I said, we'll go to the highest court they are in this country. I don't care. I am not paying you fine, and I ain't taking a ticket. Appeal me to a higher court. So anyway, I went back and told him, the guy I worked for and everything, what I'd done and everything. He's like, oh, God. A couple of days later, he come out there and handed me a piece of paper with a phone number on it and said, call this lawyer. I called that lawyer up and everything, told him what was going on and everything. He said, $100, and he said, I'll get this took care of for you. I said, so, I was waiting for him to call for him to go to court, and got a paper, a mail, showing where I had a $10 fine for improper equipment charge.
Okay.
Yeah. I told him, I said afterwards, I said, I wish I'd have known you was going to done that. I said, I didn't even want to do that. I said, I was going to fight it and get it completely thrown out of court. I said, because that junk wasn't right.
Yeah.
I said, we'd have took it, to the highest court. I said, at the time, I didn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still living at home with mom and daddy with no bills.
Yeah. Now, our oldest daughter, she got a ticket one time coming down the hill into town. Cop pulled her over and gave her a speeding ticket. We took it to a lawyer and got it reduced to a non-moving violation. PO'd that cop. I mean, it PO'd him. Mm-hmm. He harassed her every time she went through town, which we lived in town then. Every time he'd see her, he'd follow her through town. I mean, he was like stalking her. I went one day and I took her car and I said, I'm going to drive through town just to see what he does. And sure enough, he got right behind me and was tailing me. I pulled over and he pulled over. I got out and I walked back there and I said, what do you think you're doing? And he's like, you're not who I thought you was. I said, no, I'm her mother. I said, I hear about you stalking her again, or tailing her, trying to force her to speed. I said, I'll have your job. He left her alone after that.
I'd hit the brakes. He got up there real close like that. I'd hit the brakes and let him tag the back end of the car. There's a dog run across the road in front of me.
Hmm.
So it ain't my fault you was following too close.
Well, he was just PO'd because he gave her a ticket, and we got a lawyer and had it reduced to a non-moving violation, so it wouldn't go on her, against her license. And it PO'd him. I guess he thought she'd be an easy target to harass.
Yeah. I was coming up across Alabama one night coming back from Texas. And there was a pickup pulled up beside of me. And I mean I was booking it. I mean I was probably running 85, 90 mile an hour. And that loaded truck, I was tired and I was in a hurry. I was coming up the road. He flashed a badge thing at me and kept motion for me to pull over. I had a gun laying in his seat.
Huh.
And he kept doing that, and he reached over and picked that gun up, and I put him in the medium.
Yeah, I would too.
I put his butt in the medium, and when I went back over my right-hand lane, he run along behind that back of corner of the trailer there for a long ways. And then finally he just took off and come by me. You ain't got no lights. Shit, I ain't pulling over.
No.
I mean,
Nope.
anybody have a fake badge.
Mm-hmm.
And you lay a gun out there.
Anybody can have a fake badge, and anybody can have a gun laying in the seat beside them.
You reach over and pick that gun up and bring it up like that, like you gonna point it towards me? I don't play. I put another one in, and I don't know what he was, but that was down in Florida. I put his butt in the medium too. He done the same thing. Car pulled up beside him, and the guy reached over there and held up a pistol like that towards the door of my truck. But I put his butt in the medium in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
I would too.
You might be shooting at me, but you're going to be shooting low at my truck because you ain't going to be able to get it up there at the window heights because I'm going to be too close to your car.
Yeah.
But he was out there fighting the steering wheel in the medium, and I was going on down the road. I never did see that car again.
You know what? Had they have been real cops, they would have been on the radio, and you'd have been surrounded by cops. So They weren't real cops.
No. Now, the one in Florida, he didn't show no badge or nothing. He just run up beside him and come up with a pistol,
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, he was just looking to
games.
Yeah. Yeah, he was looking to play games or do some shit. Yeah. We had a guy one time when me and Paul were going together that came up beside us one time going up the highway. And he was in a jacked up truck. We were in an LTD. And he decided to swerve at us and act like he was going to run us off the road. Believe it or not, I can be scary when I want to be. We had, oh God, this thing was probably every bit of a yard long. Wooden spoon. Carved out wooden spoon. In the car. I don't know why it was even in the car, but it was. Buddy, I took that thing out, and I was literally sitting on the window of the car, hanging out the car. Come on, I will beat your ASS. He took off and left.
I know when we was dating, my cousin was trying out this little Camaro. And he had a fit that he come by the house with it, and he kept on. He wanted me to drive it that night. He wanted to drive around with us and stuff. On me take it. So we went up there and picked her up and was out riding around, and he kept wanting me to check it and see how it would run. So we was down below her daddy's house area down there, and I cut a few circles there. Well, this guy lived there close. He come out and started chasing me.
Oh, no.
He just got out of prison for
Yeah.
killing somebody.
Yeah, he supposedly he just got out of prison for
Of course
killing
he could.
somebody. But he run us what, an hour?
Yeah.
I run around up there for about an hour, you know, and he kept on and on and on. So finally, I just said the heck with it, and I pulled in there at church. He come sliding in there, shoved a pistol in the window at me, and was telling me that he just got out of prison and all of this, and he didn't mind going back, and he just on and on and on and on. And back then, I didn't care. I was sitting there laughing the whole time. But we had a shotgun that we had shot a few times, and the barrel bowed on it. So we cut about 18, 20 inches of the end of the barrel off of that shotgun. My cousin sitting back, he had a fit wanting it, so Daddy let him have it. My cousin sitting back there in the back seat, and that boy was there running his mouth. My cousin just took, I didn't even know he had it back there. But he took that shotgun barrel and slid it up between the back of the seat and the window there. Had about 3 or 4 inches. That barrel stuck out the end of the window there. That old boy started looking down there, and he seen that, and he shoved that pistol back in his pocket and said, "I better not see you out down here around my house no more." I was still sitting there laughing, you know. Buddy, I'll go wherever I want to.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's public road, you ain't got nothing you can say, you know.
Yeah.
But he got in his car and left. She was still having a fit 2 or 3 weeks later about that. I
don't know. I've been in some pretty doozies because I may be short, but I got a temper out of this world.
I used to have.
Especially when it comes to my kids.
Yeah.
You mess with my kids and you're messing with the wrong ones.
I guarantee you that now. I know
my oldest daughter, she had a guy that was stalking her. And I mean, it wasn't like that cop. This guy was stalking her. He would make laps around the block in front of our house and stuff. And finally one day she was like, "Mom, he's going around the block again." I was like, "Okay, I'll fix this." I'd already talked to the cops, and the cops were like, "Oh, he's harmless," because he was mentally slow. He wasn't, like super bad, but he was mentally slow. But he wasn't that bad. I went and got the gun, walked out in the road in front of him. He stopped. I walked around the side of the car and I looked at him and said, "Boy," I said, "you cherish your life?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Let me tell you something. This is where your family's going to find you and what you're going to be missing if you don't stop stalking my daughter." Mm-hmm. I just told him, I said, "I'm going to haul your ass out to the woods and tie you to a tree." I said, "And I'm going to cut your dick off, cram it down your throat, and I'm going to stand there and watch to see which happens first. If you bleed to death or choke to death on your own damn dick." He never bothered her again.
Oh, that would be enough.
What she said my mama done it to you.
You wouldn't have got married to me.
Exactly.
No, it don't pay to mess with my kids.
I know after her mom and daddy separated her, they'd been separated a pretty good little while. But her daddy was taking off going somewhere that weekend. And anyway, her mama found out about what her daddy done told me to, to come up there and stay. So, there'd be somebody around there.
Yeah.
Well, her mama at the time was mad at me. And she told her, said, "He better not be up there this weekend. Said, I'll be coming by there checking. If he's there, he's going to go to jail." Well, we was all out there partying, and we seen car lights coming. I'm like, "Oh, shit." So me and this other boy that was dating her sister, we take off around the house. Now, my car's sitting in the driveway, but there's some other people there.
Yeah.
But we took off around the house and went back there, and there's a little shed that he had built that he had his 55 Chevrolet sitting in all the time, and the lawnmower. Well, I'm sitting in beside it. Me and that other boy, we sitting on the ground beside of that 55 right behind that lawnmower. And she come around the house, and he better not be here nowhere. I mean, I almost stepped on my foot. She was so close. Yeah.
Oh no.
Walked right on by on around the house and then left. I'm sitting in there like,
Yes, and not you got picked up here.
yeah, that was the night I got so bad that I got sick. She decided she'd be smart and went and got the Pepto-Bismol.
Ah.
She said I got feeling better and went back to drinking and got sick again, so she gave me more. I woke up the next morning like, my God Almighty, what's wrong with my mouth?
He didn't do that before.
No, I didn't get like that no more. It's a wonder if I'm still here. 'Cause I used to be pretty rowdy.
He used to be. Ain't no done.
I didn't have good sense.
I had a mind of my own, even as a kid. In fact, hey, it's after midnight. 44 years.
I hear you.
Happy anniversary!
We still got a little ways to go.
Yep.
Thank you. Oh Lord, I'll never forget the day me and Paul. The day me and Paul got married, my dad come up to Paul after the wedding, and he was like, he stuck his hand out and he's like, "Congratulations!" And he looked at Paul and he's like, "Good luck, son." He said, "I hope you have better luck than I did, because I couldn't break her."
Well, she didn't know
I
he was
just
going.
looked at him. I was like,
She didn't.
"Sorry, I ain't a horse. I ain't here to be broke by no man."
I see it.
But when I come in that night off the truck, and I told her, I said, "Get me up in the morning." I said, "I'm gonna go down here and check on getting some insurance or something, put in the truck to get hire a driver to put in the truck." I said, "I'm tired of this being gone 3 months at a time." And that's all I said.
Yeah.
Well, the next morning she woke me up, and I told her, I said, "Well, get ready and come on." I said, "We'll run down here real quick." We go walking into the courthouse, and walked up there, and I looked at him, and I said, "Where do you get the marriage license?" And she looked at me like, "Huh?
So who you gonna marry?
You did not say that.
You too?
You did
You
not.
didn't ask me.
You didn't say a word. You stood there with your chin on the ground.
I hear you.
You knew not to say nothing because, you know.
Kyle.
Anyway, where her mom and daddy had separated, her daddy wouldn't be in the same room with her mom. So I had done decided, we can't have a regular wedding because, I don't feel right inviting my family, and you can't invite both sides of your family.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I decided just go to the courthouse and get, do it and get it over with. Well, they told us we had to have witnesses. We're standing there like, oh God, who can we get? Well, I got to thinking there a minute. My cousin actually married her uncle.
Okay.
And she worked right up over the hill over there. So we took off over there. We knew it was about time for her to get off work, and called them out and asked them if they'd come down there and sign for us. I said, that way you got somebody from your side of the family, I got somebody from my side of the family. I said, so they decided they'd come down there and sign the bear witnesses and stuff. So after we got married and everything, he was standing there and he looked at me and he said, he said, "Let me ask you a question now." He said, "How does it feel to be an old married man?" I stood there a minute and I looked at him. I said, "I don't know." I said, "But Uncle David, you're going to have to give me a little while to figure that out." He stopped and he looked at me just as funny and he said, "Oh my God, what have I done?"
That's the way I feel.
And then here come my cousin running up there and looked at me and she said, "Well, what does that make us now?" And I said, "You ain't my cousin." The
Yeah,
old days.
I've got an uncle that married his cousin. There again, I've got
Was
a cousin. Her son married his cousin. His mom was my cousin, but uh, his dad's sister, he married his dad's sister's daughter. They went to Tennessee and got married.
oh,
Can't do that in Missouri. They won't let you.
yeah. I know Mama always talked about one of her cousins was a Purdue, and she married a Purdue. But there's only like 3 or 4 different sets of Purdue's around here. they they claim that they ain't no kin to one another. I told somebody one time, I said, it's a funny thing. You got the same last name, and all of you
Uh-huh.
said that's bad. You won't even want to claim your own kin people.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's some of those here,
Hey,
like some Booyers. There's Booyer, Boyer, and I forgot how they pronounce the other one. They're all related, but they pronounce their names differently because well they don't want to be associated with the other one.
well, now
But they're
say
actually all related.
that's like our family. My last name is only a few generations old, like 5 or 6 generations, because the family feud and names got changed.
Yeah, yeah. My kids have all been like scared to death to date people in Missouri because they're like, we're probably kin to them, Mom. My dad was one of 24 kids.
Oh Lordy,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know my grandpa's brother and his wife had 15 kids on my dad's side. Well, then there was on my mom's side, she had an aunt and uncle that had 15 kids.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, when you have family members that has that many kids, it adds up in a hurry.
Uh huh. Yeah, I'm one of 10. Well, technically, I've got that I know of 3 other half siblings. 2 I've never met, and 1 I only seen when she was a baby.
I reckon I was a third of the third. I got an older brother and an older sister.
Yeah, it's a big old family.
Yeah. I know my daddy's aunt and uncle that had 15 kids. They got grandkids or had grandkids older than their kids.
Hmm. Yeah, my best friend growing up, her older sister, and her mom were pregnant at the same time, and the sister ended up having her baby before her mom had her youngest brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's an uncle, but he's younger than his nephew. Yeah,
That was
and I
cool.
I never I never met a I didn't even meet a fraction of my dad's family.
I I know. I reckon it back during the Depression or something. Anyway, where they had all them kids and stuff, they was needing help.
Uh huh.
And
Well, I think that's what he did, but uh, I know they talked about my dad was from the some of the younger ones of the family, and his dad had 12 kids by his first wife and 12 kids by his second wife.
I know.
But yeah, a lot of that was, they were nothing more than free labor.
He was down there trying to get some kind of help for groceries and rent and stuff, and they was asking him, what the kids' names was, and he was there. He could only name part of them. He finally told one of the older kids to go out there and ask your mama to come in here, said, because I can't remember all of them's names.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that. I know my dad's youngest sister was adopted out when she was a baby because his mom finally got tired of the crap and left after she had that one. She would go from working in the field, go in, have a baby, and 2 hours later be back out in the field working again.
Yeah.
I guess she finally got tired of it. And she up and left him with all the kids. So he ended up adopting out the baby, the youngest one.
Yeah. I know that's like when my mom, she was 3 years old when her little sister was born. And then when her little sister was 3 months old, their mama passed away. And their daddy kept them and raised them. And, back in the 30s like that was something you just didn't hear tell too much of a man raising 2 daughters.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
No. He's one of them old Wilkes County moonshiners.
Huh.
But he would not. They said that he could make some of the best moonshine that you ever drunk. They said it would not. They said he could make moonshine that you could take a swaller and it would not burn you.
Huh.
They said the only thing was a minute or two after you took a swaller, you would just feel your body warm up.
Yeah.
And I mean, but anyway, he would not let none of us grandkids have any idea how he made liquor.
Huh. He should have passed that one down.
Well, his family all got sent off. He had to pull time for a while on account of it. He said he'd done made enough for the whole family, and he done pulled enough time for the whole family. He said he didn't want to see none of us in there pulling time.
Yeah. Well, and I understand that.
Yep.
But it's too bad that, the recipe didn't get passed down.
Yeah.
Because that wouldn't happen now. You wouldn't get time for it now.
No, you get permits now to do it. Actually, they could have got the permits and done it legally back in. The only thing they had to do was pay the taxes on it. That's all they was getting for was non-tax liquor.
Huh.
Yeah, it's always been legal to make if you done it, went and got your paperwork and done it the right way.
Yeah.
But everybody didn't want to have to fool with going through all that and being looked at all the time and everything. So, they just went out in the woods and done it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know what it would have cost them back then. Got the permits, been able to do it legally, but
I don't know. If it's anything like now, they'd charge you an arm and a leg for it.
Probably.
Because that was the whole thing behind Prohibition anyway.
Yeah.
There's the whole problem with marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it illegal so that way down the road sometime, if we legalize it, we get taxes off of it.
Yep. Yeah, that's the only reason they ain't never legalized a lot of that is because it was, they couldn't figure out how to do it and tax it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I reckon they had to make it legal for medical before they could start legalizing it for recreational,
Yeah. Yeah. That I'm sure. Well, I better get
Uh,
off of here. Lord, it's after 2 your time.
yeah, almost 2:30. All
Yeah.
right.
If tomorrow was a work day, Paul be getting up here in a few minutes to get ready for work.
Hey, it's work day here 7 days a week.
Well, it is here too, but he doesn't have to go punch the time clock.
Yeah,
He's actually off tomorrow. He told him he wasn't coming in.
I hear you. I'd tell her that, but it wouldn't do me no good.
Yeah, I'd tell him that too, but it wouldn't do me any good. He'd just sit there and look at me and wait for me to go do it for him anyway.
Oh, all righty, girl. I'm gonna get
Alrighty,
finished.
yeah. It's
Hopefully,
been
here in
good.
the next day or two, we'll do nothing.
Alrighty. Well, it's been good chatting with y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Hey, and you too. Thank you for coming in here and jumping up here and hanging out with us.
Oh, that's alrighty. It was fun. We have fun picking on Red. I always have
Yeah,
fun picking on her.
yeah, we all do.
She still calls me every day anyway.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, we'll talk at you later on.
All righty.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.